We are live at Gatlin Field in Citronelle for a 6A Region 1 matchup. The Blount Leopards come in looking to recapture their pride as they hunt for their first win of the season. But Citronelle is defending home turf tonight, and they want to give Blount a reality check and show them how it's done in Wildcat country. You better buckle up your chin strap, because this one might get nasty. Good evening and welcome to the MCPSS High School Football Pregame Show, brought to you by Bishop State. I'm Al Wheaton, he's Corey Bounty. Corey, we have two teams tonight with a lot to prove.
That's right. I mean, you're talking about a Blount team that's really in uncharted territory, but you've come on the road, and sometimes it's good to get away from those type of distractions on the road. It creates a little bit more focus. I know they've had an outstanding week of practice. On the other side of that, Coach Barnett wanted to see the greatest improvement from week 1 to week 2 in his football team. That's normally coaches speak.
That's right.
He didn't see that. He didn't see his team play up to the expectations that he set for them. Tonight they have a chance to redo themselves and reclaim their column, a W in the win column.
And speaking of the win column, Corey, the last time Blount opened the year losing 3 in a row was back in 2004. They finished that season 3-8. And guess what? Your buddy Ben Harris was the coach. We're talking 17 years ago, Corey.
Yeah, it's been a long time since, again, uncharted territories for these Blount Leopards, but an unusual circumstance when Coach Sumter takes over for Coach Holly at such a late date, and he wants to put his stamp on this program, so we'll see a lot of changes tonight for the Blount Leopards. Looking forward to seeing how that's going to make its way into the broadcast as we go along, but Blount's trying to get back on that winning track, and I think they'll be able to get themselves on the road and refocus tonight.
Well, speaking of the Leopards, let's go ahead and get to your checklist. Blount is up first. They're the visiting team. What does Coach Sumter and the Leopards need to do tonight to get the win, Corey?
The first thing they have to do, Al, is pull in the pigskin. They've had numerous drops. Last week they had 3 drop touchdowns alone, so the wide receivers really have to concentrate on bringing in and pulling in that pigskin. They have to put a pause on penalties, and if they're able to do that, that way they'll have a little momentum. They won't be behind the chains down and distance-wise, and they have to flip the field on special teams. If they're having to go 3 and out, if they're having to punt, they need to make sure that they go ahead and don't start drives in their own territory also, so that's going to be very important for them. Citronelle, on the other hand, they have to play ahead of the change. Coach Barnett mentioned Coach Jeff Pippin, being the offensive coordinator, does not like to get behind down and distance-wise. They have to scratch through in the red zone. In their first couple of games, they've been able to drive the ball in between the 20s, but bogged down in the red zone now. They have to go ahead and get 6 on the board tonight. They have to contain explosive plays. What Coach Barnett explains is explosive plays is anything over 25 yards or more, so he's going to try to take that away from the Blount Leopards tonight.
All right, Corey, we're going to come back and look at your impact players for both of these ball clubs tonight to see who's going to have an impact on this contest. Speaking of impact, man, the weather feels great. We're going to take it down to the sidelines and check in with our third member of the crew, Kimberly Dunn. She's going to tell us about the BSN weather forecast. I know it's summer, Kim, but it feels like fall.
It does. It feels so much better on the field this week. We are feeling temperatures in the 70s, and I know that that's definitely something that these players are going to enjoy for the game. But another thing that is much better this week is that humidity, which is our biggest problem here down in the South. We want the humidity to stay low, and tonight it's going to start in the 50s, and it will slowly work its way up into the 70th percentile for humidity, but it won't get any higher than that, and I know that the players are going to enjoy that as well. And both of these teams are ready to come out with a win tonight. They feel like they need to prove something, and they are ready to prove that they can pull out a region win.
Thank you, Kimberly. We do appreciate that. Corey, we're going to have to get our buddy Fran to go down there and check on our microphone, man.
No question about it. It sounded like the wind was crackling her mic a little bit.
But, yeah, you were not seeing something crazy. Humidity, 56%, temperature, 77. I had to look at my iPhone to make sure. It said 76 here in Citronelle, and it feels good, Corey.
Feels outstanding. We talked about the first 3 weeks of football, about there being a lot of cramping. As long as you stay hydrated tonight and have done what you needed 24 hours prior to kickoff, it really should not be that big of a factor. We could almost get away away without the heat timeout tonight, but that's not implemented until the halfway point of the season.
That's correct. All right, let's get over to your impact players. Who's going to have an impact tonight for both of these teams? Who do you have for Blount featured tonight, Corey?
Blount, it's got to be the running back, Deshaun Williams. The young man is a sophomore looking to get it into gear. We saw him earlier against Bayou this year. If he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's gone. 6 to the house, folks. Also, linebacker Anthony Jones. He's a junior linebacker, and this young man had an outstanding game against Baldwin County 1 week ago. 13 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception. 2 interceptions and 1 sack. Just a phenomenal player. He'll be impactful for the Blount Leopards. You're talking about the Citronelle Wildcats now, Al. The running back Josh Pugh, he's a junior. He is going to run with power and authority.
Okay.
And he likes to run in between the tackles, but has the ability to bounce it outside and make a big play also. And linebacker Lathan Farmer, he's the senior linebacker for this team. He is the leader defensively for Coach Barnett, so we can look to call his name a lot tonight also.
All right, there's the impact players. Be on the lookout for those kids tonight as the action takes place. Corey, speaking of action, tonight Citronelle playing their 25th ever 6A region game. Their all-time record in 6A, Corey, 2-22. Coach Barnett says it's time to make a change.
Yeah, he's ready to turn that corner, and where do you have to do it? It starts in region play.
Right.
A big-time region game, looking to bounce back. Barnett is in the right place here in Citronelle, feels at home, feels comfortable. He's going to do an outstanding job. Can't wait for kickoff here tonight.
Kickoff is headed your way. You've been watching the MCPSS High School Football Pregame Show brought to you by Bishop State. Don't move. We're coming back with the kickoff from Wildcat Country.
It's time to be together again.
To make it safe for our grandparents and parents.
To see live music.
To see our teams play in packed stadiums again.
For our kids to go back to school.
Play sports and get back in the classroom. Masks off.
Masks off.
Masks off.
It's time to get back to doing what we love with who we love.
But it's up to you.
But it's up to you.
But it's up to you.
It's time to talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated.
For your family,
your children,
and our community. Together, if we vaccinate,
COVID-19 can't put us back inside again.
When we say Bishop State Community College is a great place to start, we really mean it. Want to major in psychology, engineering, criminal justice, English, history, or something else? Take your general education courses with us, then transfer your credits to the four-year university of your choice. Want to learn a trade and go straight into the workforce? We have the programs and the training to help you land a high-wage and high-demand career. Save time and thousands while conveniently taking classes safely online or on campus. Register now, bishop.edu.
If you look at the numbers, Mobile County Public Schools is making great strides. With more than 53,000 students, 7,000 employees, and 90 schools, we are consistently increasing our four-year graduation rate and our first-class pre-K program. We continue to strive for national recognition and continue to prepare our students for the global workforce. And we do all of this with one goal in mind, to equip and empower college and career-ready graduates. Mobile County Public Schools. We're learning today, leading tomorrow.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose. Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
As we enter the fourth week of high school football, the Blount Leopards are looking for their first win of the season, while the Citronelle Wildcats want to prove that they can play with the big boys in 6A Region 1. There's a lot on the line tonight for both teams, and the action is headed your way with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State. Thanks for joining us. I'm Al Whedon along with Corey LeBounty. Covering the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn. Corey, this ball game has a lot of implications at stake for both teams tonight.
Blount has won the toss and elected to defer. That shows that they want to put their defense out on the field first.
Right.
Now, they want to make that defensive statement. We know they've struggled offensively a little bit, but I think the biggest thing for them is for them to go ahead and find a way to get off to a great start. And how do you do that tonight? You put your defense out on the field, you hold them to a 3-and-out, and you find a way to get it done.
That's right. Citronelle comes into this ball game tonight dressing out about 93 players, returning only 2 on offense and 6 on defense as starters. So they have definitely grown in numbers, Corey. Coach Barnett told me earlier this week, I said, well, Coach, you know, typically you guys do better in 5A than 6A. I know you're not going to turn any kids down and parents and say, you can't come here, but at Gatlin Field, that's how they welcome you here at Citronelle. But he says, you know what? We've got to step it up. We've got to compete because I don't think they're going to drop us out of 6A.
No, I mean, it's one of those situations. You're going to deal the cards you were dealt.
Right.
And in this situation, the players and the population you were dealt. One of the things that I love about this Citronelle community is it's one of those communities to where when you're driving up 45, you have an opportunity to know you can't miss this stadium from the highway.
No.
And when you look to your left or look to your right, driving up the highway, you know that there's a lot of pride in this Wildcat football. It does not have to be represented in overall wins and losses, as evident as this program in Citronelle has won 408 games all time in the school history. But I really like for them to try to make a statement here against Blount tonight. But it's great 6A football here in wonderful fall-like conditions, Al. So
yes, it is.
Let's put toe to leather.
Yes, we are, as we're getting ready to kick this thing off. Ladarius Williams, well, sorry.
Game.
First and 10 for Citronelle on their own 47-yard line. Great field position as they start off this contest. Looking to pass, Adams throws it out there, makes the connection with Gabe Till. That's complete, Corey, down to the 27-yard line, and Citronelle on the move. Sorry about that, Ashton Love on the reception, Corey. Good job.
And they went for the big home run hitter earlier. That's close to 25 or 30 yards right in one whop. That's exactly how Citronelle wanted to start this contest. They must have seen something on film that allowed them to attack the cornerbacks early.
That is Love's 8th reception this season. Adams looking to go back to Love. He just overthrows or throws that one away. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up here for Citronelle.
And what you have to have, if you're Blount, you have to put that first play behind you and just settle down and find a way defensively to dig in and try to keep Citronelle out of this red zone area early.
2nd and 10 coming up here. 3 receivers to the top of the screen with Love here on the near side, right at the numbers. Adams is a sophomore. They're looking to throw, set up the screen. They get it complete out to Jordan Dees. That one goes nowhere. The Leopards eat it up, Corey.
And it was very well diagnosed by Maliko Bell. The 6'2", 213-pound senior makes his 26th stop of the season for the Blount Leopards. And again, down and distance-wise, you start now looking at it. 3rd down and close to 13 yards to go for the Wildcats. And here's a big opportunity for this Blount defense to rise to the occasion after Citronelle struck first early.
Wildcats on the far hash there. Still going with the same formation. 3 receivers on the short side of the field and one-on-one coverage for Love over here. Adams looking to go that way, and he's going to be sacked. Brought down on 3rd down, so the Blount Leopards defense stiffens up on Citronelle.
Great job by Terrence Campbell, along with his teammate coming in and making a big stop on the quarterback. That pocket collapsed very quickly, and you look at Jamal Wigfall, the defensive tackle, 6'2", 215-pound junior on the stop also, and Citronelle was able to hit that big pass on 1st down early in the possession. Now they've gone backwards on this drive, but it's up to this Blount defense here to hold on 4th down and keep them converting from 4th down and long.
Citronelle kind of sitting in no man's land. They're a little far out for Randy Hernandez to attempt a field goal, so they're going to go for this one at the Blount 33-yard line. Adams looks to get it out. Receiver pushed out. I believe Ashton Love, he was attempting to get that ball to and does not. So Blount survives that the early shot right there from the Wildcats. They're going to take over ball on downs at their own 33-yard line, Corey.
Great job by the defense of Blount responding, but now it's up to Citronelle's defense, led by 4th-year defensive coordinator Jason Morgan, to make sure they don't get these explosive plays. Now, Blount is very hungry when it comes to offense because, again, I mentioned the 3 drop passes that they've had for touchdowns as they were shut out 1 week ago against Baldwin County.
Freddie Davis in at quarterback. Going to hand that one off to Deshaun Williams. Coach Sumter told her he's probably may use a different type of formation tonight, Corey. He didn't come out with that formation. They've gone back to their normal lineup with Freddie Davis. We were looking for Chris Casher in a Wildcat formation, but looks like they're going with their regular.
And you have to. You have to believe in what got you there. I mean, offensive coordinator Alonzo Johnson, along with Coach Sumter, will be calling plays for the Blount Leopards tonight.
Hand off back to Williams. I think the Powell's going to push him forward for maybe about 1 or 2 yards, Corey. So it's going to be 3rd and about 5 coming up here for the Leopards.
The thing that you love about this young running back is the ability to keep his legs churning. And defensively on the stop is David Sullivan, the 5'9", 170-pound player for the Wildcats. Now you're at 3rd down and 4 yards to go for Citronelle. So this is going to be huge for the Blount Leopards. Freddie Davis taking the shotgun snap for the Leopards.
Trip receivers here to the near side. Davis going to throw it. That pass incomplete. Could not connect with his receiver, Darrell Williams. So it's going to be 4th down coming up here for the Leopards. And Citronelle has held, Corey, 3 and out for Blount.
That's exactly what Citronelle needed. Now we're talking about a field battle. Let's see if Blount is able to get end over end on this punt. Citronelle had a great kickoff return to put him in wonderful field position to start the contest. Now let's see if they're able to capitalize off special teams punt play. One of the keys to the game for myself was special teams for the Blount Leopards.
Myron Dunklin back to punt. And to receive is going to be Rivers Johnson. He's going to take it on the 1 hop. Ball comes out, but Johnson jumps back on top of it. Boy, that could have been costly for the Wildcats if he had not jumped back on the pigskin.
It could have been disastrous, but Rivers Johnson, the 5'7", 150-pound sophomore, was able to cover up the pigskin, making sure that the Wildcats did not turn the football over.
Take a look at the offense here for Citronelle. We talked about quarterback Justin Adams. He comes in on the season 20 for 44 of tonight. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's going to connect a lot tonight with Ashton Love and also Josh Pugh coming out of the backfield, who's rushed for over 200 yards. Up front, Gunnar Newborn is going to lead that offensive line that averages 226 pounds. And right there on cue, Josh Pugh with the carry. He'll pick up about maybe 3 or 4, take Citronelle to second down.
Outstanding open field tackle by the Blount Leopards in that play, and that's what you have to do, but they were able to pick up positive yardage.
Speaking of that defense, we already talked about Malik O'Bell tonight, 25 tackles on the season. Also, Chris Casher, he's going to be coming up from strong safety, playing some D-end tonight, and Ty Beverly with 1 interception, and Kel Smith, he will also be on the field tonight, has 1 interception, 2 pass breakups as they complete that one to Jordan Dees. He's about 2 yards short of the first down, Corey. 3rd and short coming up for Citronelle.
Dees' 7th reception on the season. The 6-foot, 160-pound sophomore comes down with a huge catch. But again, now 3rd down and 2 yards to go for the Wildcats. We'll see if this defensive line is able to get that push. Defensive coordinator Donald Wallace making the calls from the sidelines for the Blount Leopards.
3rd and short coming up here for Citronelle on their own 34. They're going to try to bust it up the middle, and boy, he has busted up the middle on the tackle right there for the Blount Leopards.
Anthony Jones.
There he is. Mama, there go that man.
And
wow.
And that was just hitting the hole. He attacked the gap and stood the runner-up right in the hole. Outstanding job of making sure you get a big-time stop. But what you have to be aware of here is short yardage, flipping the field situation. Special teams, watch for some type of fake here. Yes, Citronelle would be giving up a lot of yardage if they decided to go for the fake, but Blount needs to be aware of that. Great job so far of Blount's defense holding tight on that defensive stand.
Flag comes out there, Corey.
And you hope it's not an illegal substitution.
Right, it looks like they're counting them up right now, as a matter of fact.
Too many men on the field. A legal substitution is going to give Citronelle a first down.
That's a first down. Yep, that sure is. You talked about pausing the penalties. Self-induced right there. Blount had the 3 and out. They had to stop. And they're going to give up the first down.
Well, that's not the way that you want to give up the first down, but Citronelle has new life here on their own 39-yard line. It opens up the playbook for offensive coordinator Jeff Pippin, who's in his first year as the offensive coordinator for Citronelle. He used to coach wide receivers and now has the offensive coordinator duties.
Also was doing special teams. Former OC Kenny Gilliam went over to Robertsdale and took that job over the summer, and Pippin stepped right on up. Jordan Dees steps up, makes another grab. That's about 8 yards, maybe 9. It's going to be 2nd and short. Citronelle in front of the sticks, Corey.
Tyler Beverly, the free safety, 6-foot, 175-pound senior, makes his 5th tackle on the season. Yes, folks, this is the son of John Beverly, who used to be the head coach at Chickasaw and St. Luke's as well. So he definitely has great football genetics, picking up where his dad left off here from a high school football tradition.
Adams looking over to the sideline to get the call from Pippin. Double receivers in this formation. As they throw it out to Dees once again, he gets some great blocking from one of the upbacks there. It's going to be first down. Of course, speaking of that offense, Citronelle averages 20 points on offense this season. That's about a touchdown more than they had last year up at this same time. So maybe moving Pippin into the OC role has done well for the Wildcats so far, as we are at our first heat timeout. 5:38 remaining in the contest here in the first quarter. Al Wheaton, Coralie Bounty, Kimberly Dunn here. We're going to take a break and come back and bring you more action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Register at signatureacademyshowcase.vfairs.com. Representatives from all 12 high schools will be on hand to talk about our academies. This event is open to all 7th and 8th graders and their parents. So register today and have your questions answered regarding your child's transition into high school and into a life-changing career path. It's the 2021 MCPSS Virtual Signature Academy Showcase, October 19th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
1st and 10 on the Blount 44-yard line. Adams completes that pass to Jordan Dees. He's hit Dees a couple times tonight, Corey. Picks up a nice game for the Wildcats. Looks like about 2nd and 5 coming up here for Citronelle.
And I really like Dees. He's shown to be a very effective target tonight for his quarterback, Justin Adams. Again, Dees, 6 foot, 160-pound sophomore, has made at least 3 catches tonight, have been very impressive for Citronelle.
2nd and 5 coming up here for the Wildcats. Handing that ball off to Pacey Taylor. I think Taylor's forward progress may get a yard if possible. It'll be 3rd and about 5, maybe a long 6 coming up.
Jamal Wigfall, the 6'2", 250-pound junior, 215-pound junior, really making his presence felt as we've called his name at least a couple of times tonight. 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Let's see if Blount is able to tighten up this defense and come away with possibly a stop. 4-down territory for Citronelle.
They did that on the first series after giving up that big pass to Ashton Love from Adams. Oh, that pass is blocked right at the line, Corey. One of the Leopards jumps up and knocks it down. Boy, that was big-time play. It's 4th down coming up for Citronelle.
That's the type of stop that you have to have from your defensive end position, and it looked like maybe Jalen Casher wasn't able to really catch that number, but good job of getting those big paws up and knocking it down. Citronelle now in a situation to where you're at 4th down and 5 yards to go. Decision-making time here.
They're gonna go
for the Wildcats.
Yeah, back still in no man's land, and nothing to lose here for Citronelle. You're trying to pick up your 3rd ever 6A region win, and a little pooch kick right there from Adams to surprise the Leopards. So a nice call right there from special teams coach Will Ayers with Citronelle. Blount had no one back. Let's take it to the sidelines and check in with Kimberly Dunn. She's with Principal Randy Campbell here at Citronelle.
That's right. I do have the principal for Citronelle High School with me here. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, we're doing good. Everything's going well, and we're glad to be here.
Good. So can you tell me about how COVID has been going at Citronelle High School? How has it affected your students and your classrooms?
Yeah, it's been a strain on everybody. We're as far as faculty and staff absence. I mean, we're pretty saturated with trying to get everything covered. I got to compliment my faculty and staff for the great job they've done in getting everything covered and making sure that the kids are getting what they need to get, and whether they're face to face, which most of them are, or they're having to do things from home because they're out on a quarantine or something like that. But it's going, it's going well.
So can you tell us, with everything that's going well at Citronelle High School, about your signature academies and the connections that they are able to make outside of high school?
Yeah, that's great. We have a great signature academy program, and we lead the system in internships every summer, and every year that we do that, we create relationships with more and more partners, and this year's been no different. Now, COVID has given us some challenges, but we've still made some new partners. And one of the things that has really come out of this Signature Academy program is the ability to connect graduates with partners that need full-time jobs filled, and we've been able to do that. It's been very fortunate for these kids. I mean, we've had some kids that's been out, graduated for a couple of 3 years that we're able to get them into full-time jobs, and even after the fact. So we're trying to build on that, but we really have second to none Signature Academy program.
That's phenomenal. So you're not only creating jobs for current students, but for students who have already graduated as well.
Yes, and that's a big benefit. And like I said, we're trying to grow on that end of it and try to make sure that those kids that do graduate, they've got skills, and we've got connections with a lot of people who are looking for jobs. And, you know, it's so hard to fill a lot of the positions now with the COVID, and we're able to fill some of those slots through our Second-Tier Academy program, and up to 3 years or so already graduated.
That's amazing. And if parents want to get information about all of these signature academies or about the internship programs that y'all have, where can they get that information?
Yeah, CitronelleWildcats.com. That's our website, and we have all of that information there. You can also check out our Facebook page and keep up with that. You can always text me at 251-751-8334. That's my number, and I put that out to everybody. And if you ever have any questions about anything going on at Citronelle, you can contact me directly.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us this evening. Good luck to you and your school tonight, and I guess a Go Wildcats is what we need, huh?
A Go Wildcats all day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. As she's talking with Principal Randy Campbell. While we were away, Corey, Blount didn't pick up the first down, and right there, Rivers Johnson calls for a fair catch, and the Blount defender runs right into him. Catch interference. I mean, that's 15 right there.
Yeah, Citronelle did a good job of holding Blount to a negative down and distance situations.
Right.
But on top of that punt, now you add yardage. And Citronelle, you have gotten into what you call the plus side territory, into Blount's territory on the other side of the 50 close to 3 times tonight.
Three
but
times.
You bogged down right before you get to the red zone area. So here from the 50 to the 20, let's see if they're able to move the chains.
Yeah, Blount has shot themselves in the foot twice tonight. Gave Citronelle a first down on a 3rd and short with legal procedure, and then that penalty right there. But they have stiffened up. When Citronelle tried to get into the red zone, have not been able to get into it. That pass, a loss of 5 yards, 2nd down and 15 coming up for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Maliko Bell absolutely blew that up as you saw the 2 players run into one another for Citronelle. And you stop that forward, gain momentum, and Maliko Bell is able to make that tackle now. 2nd down and 15 yards to go for Citronelle.
I mean, up top of the press box at Gatlin Field, Corey, we could see it was a screen being set up, but it took too long to develop. You got to get that a little quicker. Pugh in the backfield right there with Adams. He's ready to block. They're trying to go up top to Ashton Love. Love is definitely out of bounds. He brings it in. So it's going to be 3rd and long coming up here for the Wildcats. Decision time for offensive coordinator Jeff Pippin and Jason Barnett.
That's exactly where they went on the first series in the game and had success right here on the Citronelle Wildcat sideline. Blount has made the adjustments defensively as that ball really was thrown to the sidelines, not giving the receiver enough green grass to come away with it and make a play.
Trip receivers to the top. Citronelle has been in this formation all night. That pass incomplete, tried to get it to Gabe Teal as he was coming across the flat there. So it's another 4th down coming up here for the Wildcats. 4th and 15, their longest of the night.
And what they'll have to do is take a situation where you try to get Blount to jump, maybe and make it 4th down and 10. But the best thing that can happen for Citronelle is they're going to flip the field. They're going to get Blount deep into their own territory, and Blount's offense has sputtered tonight, have not really been able to pick up consecutive first downs and really complete passes with any success. So it's up to Blount to try to here on special teams to make sure they don't commit a penalty on a big return here. There's going to be a timeout first called by Citronelle.
Yeah, Coach Barnett is hot. They didn't have the right personnel out on the field at the minute 29, and he had to burn a timeout, but it's only the first quarter, so he's going to talk to the guys right now and try to get things straightened out. We talked about Citronelle and their numbers. Blount dressing out about 70 to 75 players tonight, returning 4 on offense and 7 on defense, and we were told we were probably going to see a lot of those defensive guys tonight on offense. Just hasn't seen them yet. Speaking of seeing, have you seen Bishop State Athletics? They've announced Trent Eager is now taking over the men's basketball team as the new head coach following the retirement of legendary Johnny Shelwood. Coach Eager has been serving as the head's women's basketball coach and athletic director since he arrived at Bishop State in 2016. Says he's looking forward to leading the program and the young men on the team. Be sure to catch the men and women's basketball teams on the hardwood this fall at Bishop State. A great place to start, Corey.
I agree with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing Coach Eager take over and continue to recruit here locally.
Yes, sir.
There's great local talent here in the Mobile County Public School System that they'll have to choose from.
Andon Lynch gets the punt off. Great punt right there. Cartel Washington feels it at his own 12-yard line. Sorry, 13-yard line. Comes up with a nice return. Let's see where they spot this at. Maybe the 34-yard line of Blount. This would match their second possession of their best field position tonight, Corey.
And that's important. I mentioned that there were no penalty flags on this special teams play. You're able to advance the football close to the 34-yard line. Yeah. You're able to take over. And what you need to see is just one or two plays that gain 7 to 10 yards in consecutive fashion for the Blount Leopards to get them some type of rhythm. And here it is, 2-by-2 set for the Blount Leopards.
2-by-2, Blount going with the typical formation. We have not seen them go to that Wildcat yet. That pass out to Myron Dunklin. It is complete. He's at the 41-yard line, second down, and about 4 coming up here, maybe 3 for the Leopards.
The biggest thing for the quarterback, Freddie Davis, is place it in the hands, giving your wide receiver an opportunity to make yards after catch. Yak yards is what we like to call that.
Right.
And if you give your receiver an opportunity not to pick it up off the blades of grass, Blount has a lot of blazing speed, which can lead to explosive plays.
Hand off to Deshaun Williams. He turns the corner, steps out right about the 45-yard line. I believe that's enough for a first down to move the sticks. And
that's what Blount needs offensively. Keep your defense off of the field. Get your offense on the field. Try to wear down Citronelle defensively. Citronelle, led by defensive coordinator Jason Morgan, comes out in this 3-4 defense. Blount's trying to expose it right here in the middle of the field.
Davis just going to keep that one. Buries his head down for maybe 2 or 3 yard pickup. And I believe that probably may be our last play of the first quarter. We'll see. I believe Blount may have to snap it. About a 7-second difference between the game clock and the play clock. So Blount will have to snap this ball. That was Blount's first down of the ball game, Corey, as a matter of fact.
In their third offensive series, and that's the thing that you have to look at, Al. That means you've gone 3 and out, and this was your first opportunity to gain that first down. So a little momentum possibly going into the second quarter, as we know that you look at the explosive ability of sophomore running back Deshaun Williams. We saw him in the 13-0 first half of the Blount-Viger game. Go ahead and show his speed, so we'll see what they're able to come away with here.
Now, with that official's timeout right there, they reset the play clock. Blount does not have to snap the ball, but they decide to get it off. They give it to Deshaun Williams, and he's going off into Wildcats territory. Brought down about the 45-yard line as that wraps up the first quarter here at Gatlin Field. We are notched up 0-0. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State. Al Weed and Corley Bounty on the sidelines is Kimberly Dunn. And as we go into the second quarter, we're still notched at 0, Score.
Yeah, 5 consecutive quarters. The Blount Leopards have not scored, but they're looking to go ahead and end that here as they have their best drive going so far, as Citronelle's applying a lot of pressure making the quarterback roll out of the pocket, and he completes it to his speedy wide receiver, Al, who's looking to go to the house.
Davis gets that ball out to Cartel Washington. That's the largest game for the Leopards tonight, and they are inside of the red zone.
And that's what the Leopards needed, just back-to-back. And now they're going tempo, trying to catch Citronelle on the heels. You look at the replay, the escapability of Freddie Davis to find Cartel Washington was impressive.
The chain gang trying to catch up here with the tempo Blount trying to utilize, Corey. 1st and 10, ball at the 18-yard line of Citronelle. Hand that one off to Deshaun Williams. He's weaving his way close to another first down. Let's see where they spot this ball at.
And what I love about this run is the ability for this young fella to plant his feet and have quick change of direction. He saw the hole open up, wanted to go to the left, quickly changed direction to the right, was able to pick up an additional 7 or 8 yards. Now you're looking at 1st and goal now for the Blount Leopards from about the 8-yard line of Citronelle.
And notice, Corey, Freddie Davis has gone out of the lineup. Here's that Wildcat formation we were telling you about with Chris Casher, Maliko Bell, direct snap to Deshaun Williams. He's going to play backup quarterback. And Corey, he scampers in for 8 yards, and the Leopards are on the board. Just as you said, 5 quarters of no scoring the past 2 ball games.
You had to know that it was going to go away with a lot of offensive rhythm. As soon as they picked up that first down out of the Wildcat, we'll call it the Leopard spot of the football right here. Deshaun Williams is able to end that scoring drought for the Blount Leopards as they score first here.
Officials timeout. No, I'm sorry. Blount is called a timeout, Corey. So we have a break right here. Let's check in with our buddy Mike Herndon. We're going to take it down to him. Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, we got a 7-7 ball game here at Lad People Stadium between Murphy and Mary G. Montgomery. The Vikings got on the board first with about a 50-yard run by Jason Campbell right up the middle of the field. And then Murphy put a drive together, and the first play of the second quarter, Bernardo Brown, scored 7 yards out. 7-7 early in the second quarter here for Lad People.
Having some technical difficulties there with Mike, Corey, but it sounds like I heard he said Fernando Brown scored a touchdown. So we know that the Murphy scoreless streak has ended so far.
Yeah, that's big time for the Murphy Panthers too. And sometimes all you need is that one little jolt to see something positive offensively or defensively happen for your team, give you a little juice. Now the band is giving Blount a lot of energy. This point after is critical for the Blount Leopards.
Kel Smith on to kick. They both wear number 2. Kel Smith plays defense, and it is up. Blount on top. Speaking of up, 7-0 over Citronelle. Corey, you talked about the Blount band right there. I'm a bit surprised I don't see a lot of the Blount faithful on the opposing sidelines. They typically travel very well, and we're just, maybe 20, 30 miles up from Blount High School.
Well, what happens when you start off 0-3? Sometimes your fans say, hey, give me something to cheer about. And now they have an opportunity to say they're going to cheer on that scoreboard because Blount leads 7-0. The band is always going to be in attendance, and I know Principal Woods knows and instills that Leopard pride, but wants all the alumni and the fans to continue to support all Leopard sports, win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely great shot of the crescent moon there tonight from our camera crew, as Blount has gotten on the board with an 8-yard run from Deshaun Williams out of that, call it that leopard cat formation tonight. Kel Smith on with the kickoff coming up here. And Smith bums it right up the middle. Josh Pugh almost brought down, and now brought down at about the 36-yard line. Got to thank our folks over there at Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs and save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So thanks to Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road Firehouse Subs location for taking care of us and the crew with all the great eats. Also, BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment. If it's baseball, wrestling, all sports in between, they have it. BSN Sports, the heart of the game. Visit them online at bsnsports.com.
That drive 7 plays, 64 yards for the Blount Leopards. 4 first downs were gained. They put 7 on the board.
And I believe they just got those Leopards to jump off sides, Corey.
And that's huge for Citronelle. Anything positive that you can have that creeps on down into Blount territory. Right now they have not crossed the 50-yard line, but in the first quarter, we saw them come out with that first series, first long strike of the game. And we've seen them, again, been able to move the football, not get into the red zone area yet, but again, Blount is just trying to keep this offense 3 and out.
First and 10, ball at their own 41-yard line. Hand off to Pacey Taylor. And he is met just past the line of scrimmage. I believe they'll credit him with a 1-yard gain. Blount beat Citronelle last year 26-0, and they lead this series 13-2. This is only the 16th meeting between them.
Stopped by Morris and Bell on the play. Now it's second down and about 4 yards to go for Citronelle. The ball spotted right at their own 43-yard line.
So a 2-yard gain for Pacey Taylor. They bring back in Josh Pugh. They're trying to go over the top to Ashton Love, and that pass almost intercepted by the Leopards, Corey.
Darrell Williams, the 5'9", 150-pound senior, was able to knock that away, almost intercepting it, but looks like there will be some type of penalty flag in the area of pass interference being thrown. Tonight's officials, white hat, I know, is Billy Pines.
Billy Pines, yeah. There's a call right there, so it's going to go against the Leopards. Another costly penalty, Corey.
We saw that 15 yards. Now it turns into an additional 15 yards.
So first down as the Wildcats move into Leopards territory. Billy Pines, Trey Burnett, Glenn Edens, Mike Grimes, and Jeff Tolbert on the call tonight. And the Wildcats back into Leopards territory. They've been in there all night long. They just haven't been able to punch it into the end zone to get a score.
Here's the thing. If they can get within the red zone area, they have to claw their way into the scoreboard area. And it's really tough slating by this big defensive line of the Blount Leopards. Now, while Citronelle has had a lot of success, is going to Jordan Dees on the perimeter.
Sure have.
And the quick throws by quarterback Justin Adams have been very successful. So let's see if they're able to continue to go to that here on the perimeter or find some type of mismatch for some type of long jump ball situation as well, because it's single coverage here for the Blount Leopards.
Ball on the 41 of Blount. 2nd and 9 here. Play clock under 10 for Adams. He's trying to go to Love once again, Corey. And boy, Darrell Williams all over him with good coverage. It's 3rd and long coming up for Citronelle.
That's that one-on-one coverage that I just mentioned here on the bottom of your screen. That's the mismatch and the shot that you want to take if you're offensive coordinator Jeff Pippin. But great job defensively making sure that you don't give up that. Now it's 3rd down and long for Citronelle, as again we've seen them bog down right here close on the other side of the 50-yard line. Have the football in Blount territory. Going to be important here to get the ball out quick and make plays, get a hat on a hat for blocking downfield.
They go with the draw play and give it to Pugh. And that Leopards defense stiffens up, and he may have picked up 2, Corey.
Yeah, that's a tough place to run when you're running into Terrence Campbell. 6'4", 215-pound senior makes his 12th solo tackle on the season. Now you're able to gain 1 yard, but we're looking at 4th down and long 8 yards to go for Citronelle.
Cartel Washington looks as if he's going to set up on his 5-yard line for this punt from Andon Lynch. I wonder if special teams coach Donald Wallace told him, son, if it goes over your head, stay away from it. let it go into the end zone. That one to be short, but a nice punt by Lynch there. Appears to go out of bounds near the 7 or 8 yard line. That's going to pin the Leopards way back up against the goal line.
What I want to see now is how Blount responds offensively. We mentioned the scoreless drought that they went through, some 5+ quarters. Let's see if they're able to put back-to-back drives together.
Let's take it down and check in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey guys, I was able to talk with the coaches before the game to kind of get the mindset that they're in tonight. Both of these coaches said that this region win is very important to them, especially for the Blount Leopards. He said if we don't get this win tonight, we are out of the playoffs. So they are working extra hard to make sure that they can get that win tonight, because not only would that mean that they could possibly have a chance at the playoffs, but this is his first year coaching this team, and he feels like he's ready to make that connection with his players, with his team, and give them something to strive for each week.
Absolutely right, Kim. This is definitely a must-win for the Leopards tonight. Coach Sumter told me some of that same stuff on the phone this week, and that's one of the reasons we're seeing this Wildcat formation with that carry from Deshaun Williams. Picks up about 7, 2nd and 3 coming up here for the Leopards.
Full house backfield is what we're going to call it. Just a quarterback keeper, Deshaun Williams.
Right up the middle. He told us Chris Casher possibly would get some action, but we've seen in this formation Deshaun Williams stepping up tonight. Look at that hole, Corey.
That's all he needs is a small little crease, because this young fella, again, if he bounces it to the outside once he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's going to have a long gallop of green grass in front of him.
We talked about it in the pregame kickoff show. The last time Blount opened the year losing 3 in a row was back in 2004. And Coach Sumter, like he told Kimberly and told myself, he doesn't want to start 0-4 because in 6A Region 1, you know, they've yet to play McGill. Next week they play Saraland. They've yet to play Spanish Fort. He knows this is a game he's got to win tonight, Corey.
Well, when you start looking at this Blount offensive line, you have 295, 317, 295, 260, and 290. The average poundage up front is 291, so that's a lot of mass up front. But looks like we're going to have a penalty flag here that's going to bring Blount backwards.
That holding from that line you just talked about, that's going to put it at the 16-yard line. It'll still be first down, but it will be first and long coming up here for the Leopards as they have switched back to their typical formation. Double stack receivers, they bring in Freddie Davis. So it appears as if maybe in this formation, offensive coordinator Alonzo Johnson may be making those calls, and Coach Sumter handling it when they go to that Wildcat, Corey. Davis double pump, tried to get it out to Myron Dunklin, just overthrows him. 2nd and long coming up for the Leopards, and I believe I see another yellow flag on the field. Ineligible receiver possibly for the Leopards.
Yeah, if you have that downfield, that will cost you additional yardage, and that's exactly what the call is, Al, and that's going to put the Leopards even further behind down in distance-wise.
Well, Citronelle declined it, Corey. They declined it.
Well, if you're in a situation where you want to decline this penalty, you're at 2nd down and close to 18, 19 yards to go with the ball being spotted right close to the 16-yard line. A lot of cushion being given by Citronelle's cornerbacks on these wide receivers.
Same formation. Darrell Williams comes over from defense to play some offense, and the Wildcats wrap up Deshaun Williams for a loss of about a yard or 2. It's going to be 3rd and really long, maybe 20 yards coming up.
Looks like David Sullivan on the stop. This young man is listed at 5'9", 170 pounds, getting it done. Now the Leopards really, if they're going to pass here, just need to make sure they don't turn the football over when they do so.
Little quick out. Cartel Washington pushed out of bounds at near the 18-yard line, maybe a 2-yard gain. So the decision to punt right there by Jason Barnett and the Wildcats pays off, Corey. They give up 1 first down, but Blount hurts himself with a penalty.
Here we go with special teams now. You have to have a good snap. You just want to make sure you get this football away and don't commit any silly flags after Citronelle catches the football, but the Wildcats will be in outstanding field position after fielding this punt for Blount.
Rivers Johnson setting up at his 46. Dunklin gets out of a tight situation, and Johnson is going to catch that one. It'll be in Blount territory at the 44-yard line.
pretty much a do-over.
You're right.
For this Citronelle Wildcats offense. Didn't really break. They bend a little bit, but they're right back where they started here, having an opportunity with a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 now for the Wildcats, right at the 44-yard lines of the Leopards. And here's what you want to see. You want to see Citronelle try to find a way to get into the 30 to the 20-yard line area. That way you open up the playbook tremendously.
Ball sits at the 44. Adams connects once again with Jordan Dees. Dees almost has maybe 5 or 6 receptions tonight, Corey, with those little quick dink and dunk passes to him.
That's what you need to continue to do. Chris Casher III, the 6 foot, 218-pound senior on the stop. That's been where the success has been for this offense of the Citronelle Wildcats. The quick throws, the little 1 or 2 step drops, getting rid of it quickly to Jordan Dees or Nasir Powell or Ashton Love, not really going over the top except for that first series when they connected.
2nd and 6 as Dees goes into motion. May have a pre-snap penalty right here. Flag on the far side of the field near the 40-yard line. False start against Citronelle. That'll push him back 5, Corey.
Well, Citronelle does not want to do Blount any favors in regards to giving up that field position that they just gained off of that punt. Now you're looking at a 2nd down and 11 yards to go for Citronelle. And again, I mentioned how quickly Citronelle has had success getting the ball to the perimeter or quickly to their wide receivers. That's something here on the draw. That's wide open in the playbook also.
Yeah. They read your mind, Corey. They go to Josh Pugh, and he falls just past the line of scrimmage for maybe a 1-yard gain. So let's call it 3rd and 9 coming up here for the Wildcats. And literally, Corey, this is almost like a do-over where they were on the previous possession.
It really is. You're looking at 3rd down and 9 yards to go down. The tough thing about a draw is Blount running that 4-3 defense, getting penetration and no holes opening up for your back. Now, a speedy back from Citronelle, once it gets past the line of scrimmage, he knows what to do with it. But here, quick passes to the middle of the field is where you're going to have success.
Trying to go over the top. Cannot connect with Ashton Love. He is 6'4". But once again, incomplete as we are under 6 minutes. I wonder if Billy Pines is going to call for the heat timeout. And I believe he has, Corey. So at 5:48, Blount on top 7-0 over Citronelle. I believe, go ahead, Corey.
And now what'll be interesting to see is if offensive coordinator Jeff Pippin decides to try to get in between the hash marks throwing the football here in the 2nd quarter.
Let's take it down to the sidelines. Kimberly has a very special guest with us this season. That looks like Dr. Reginald Crenshaw. Kimberly?
It sure is. I am here with Dr. Crenshaw, who is the school board commissioner for Mobile County Public Schools. But not only are you the commissioner for the county, you are the director of Title III programs at Bishop State, correct?
Correct. 43 years.
Wow, 43 years. So can you tell us about some of the exciting things that are going on at Bishop with the academics and athletics?
Okay, well, right now, the newest athletic thing going on is Coach Eager is now the men's basketball coach, leaving the women's coach to be the new coach. We're looking for big things out of him. Also, we have a new building, manufactured technology building. We're excited about having that there. It's going to bring in individuals from industry and also from the community to just be a part of that program. We also have our mini term coming up, which is where students will spend less than a full semester in a course and get the full credit. So it's some exciting things going on at Bishop State.
Yes, and I hear that you also have a new volleyball team as well.
We do. The volleyball coach is doing real well, and I think she's about 2 and 3 or something like that, 3 and 3 in the conference. They're very exciting. I've never been a volleyball fan until I attended the game. It's very exciting, and we're just happy to have her on board.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about your student support service programs that you have at Bishop State?
Yeah, the Student Support Service Program is a new program founded by the U.S. Department of Education. And in that program, students will get assistance in tutoring, they would get assistance with registration, and then if they use all those services, they will qualify for a stipend anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, we mailed our checks to 17 students for $1,500, and all I do is use the service. So we encourage people to be a part of that program so that they can benefit from the academic assistance and also with the financial assistance.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit how Bishop State is a great first start for any college that they may want to attend in the future?
No doubt about it. You come to Bishop State for your first 2 years, you pay 1/3 of the cost it would be for a 4-year college, and then those courses will transfer on to a 4-year institution. So it's a great place to start, and not only a great place to start, but a great place to finish in terms of staying there, getting that full degree. So we're excited about that, and we just look forward to them coming and getting their first start at Bishop State.
Yes, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us and telling us everything that is going on at Bishop State Community College, and we look forward to hearing more about that.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, Kimberly, great job there talking with Dr. Reginald Crenshaw, school board commissioner. Also works at Bishop State Court. I can say I do the PA work at Bishop State, and the Wildcats, the volleyball team, are 4-4. They just had another victory the other night. So Coach Nicole Keshak doing very well with the young ladies over there.
Not only that, I mean, Coach Crenshaw killing all the birds with one stone. You know, being a Blount alum,
That's right.
Also with Bishop State here representing Mobile County Public School System, so really has everything covered.
I don't know if he has time to even officiate anymore, Corey. He's a busy man.
No question about it, Alan. You love to talk to Doctor with all the positive things that are going on at Bishop State. He mentioned it not only with the volleyball program that you have an opportunity to watch, but here, you know, when you're talking about the Mobile County Public School System and we have the principals on talking about the signature academies.
Correct.
There's so many wonderful things and opportunity to advance your education, and it not only makes you college but career ready also.
That's right. Second down and 11 coming. I'm sorry, 2nd and 9 coming up here. No, I'm correct. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Leopards. That was a 1-yard loss on the first down. Freddie Davis throws it out once again to Cartel Washington. He turns the corner, gets maybe at the 45 or the 46. They'll mark him out at the 45. Good play right there for the Leopards. 3rd and about 3 coming up.
Stopped by Jamari James from his safety position, 5'10", 155-pound sophomore. You look at the quick throw and the great catch. What that does, though, that gives your quarterback, Freddie Davis, confidence that once you see that first ball completed, that second ball completed, it allows you to go ahead and complete more in the future.
3rd and 2, they give it to Deshaun Williams. Look at him weave and go, Corey, in and out like a serpentine, looking like Verna Dean at the Mystics of Time parade as he goes into Wildcats territory.
Just his outstanding vision. This young man cuts to the left, cuts back to the right, cuts to the left, weaving in and out of Wildcats, picking up a huge Blount Leopard first down.
They go to Cartel Washington with that quick screen. Not tonight. Maybe a 1-yard loss on that play as he is wrapped up by one of the Wildcat defenders.
That's going to be Jamari James again, but what you see is when you give a 5 to 6 yard cushion as a cornerback, that's why you dial up that play offensively. He's able to gain 1 yard for the Leopards. Now they've crossed the 50-yard line at the 49.
Another quick out that they keep going with those screens, and boy, on the move for the Leopards, Ty Beverly into Wildcat territory, into the red zone. They can't bring him down. They finally get him at the 14-yard line.
Ty Beverly, again, playing both sides of the football. This 6', 175-pound senior already has 1 touchdown of the season, makes his 7th reception of the season, and we have an injury on the play, but look at that plant move as he knows what to do with this football, getting it north and south in this east and west stadium.
Keeping those legs moving, Corey. I don't know if he hit the X button, the circle button, the square. He hit them all right there on the joystick.
I tell you what, when you hit that down button or that middle controller, it allows you to go ahead and act like a video game, and hopefully the Citronelle Wildcat player will be up and able to walk off on his own power, and looks like might have taken a shot to the gut area.
Yeah. Looks like number 48, Corey, trying to check my roster there.
Zach Morgan, I do
Take a
believe
look at the 6A Region 1 standings. That was Zach Morgan right there, Corey. So here it is in 6A Region 1, Corey. Your eyes don't deceive you. We don't have it in order of overall victories, but Spanish Fort 1-0, Saraland 1-0, Robertsdale 1-0. And as you see right there, Blount 0-1 the region, and Citronelle 0-1 overall. Blount 0-3 in the region. Spanish Fort, we know they went to the 6A championship game last year, so they're pretty much the hunted right there in 6A Region 1.
Well, Spanish Fort's getting it done tonight. over Robertsdale, and we mentioned how big, Kim mentioned how big this game was from a playoff mentality for these Blount Leopards. So a lot of football still yet to be played, but you don't want to get and be down 0-2 in the region.
False start against the Leopards will push them back 5 yards to the 20. Freddie Davis looking to connect with his receiver and does do that on the far side there. Hauling that ball in for Blount. Have to get a number on him, 81, Corey, I believe. So it'll be second down and about 6.
A big target for quarterback Freddie Davis, nonetheless.
I think it may have been Cam Goolsby, Corey. We have him at 17, but he does have 81 on the Dragonfly roster, so we'll call that Goolsby. They go back to that leopard cat formation, and the Wildcats waiting on them. They're not letting Deshaun Williams go far. Maybe a 1-yard gain. Ball looks like it's going to be at the 8-yard line. Third and short. Third and about 4 coming up here for Blount.
Here it is. You're in the red zone area. You want to be comfortable. Do you want to go ahead and get it in and cash in 6? Absolutely. With this full house backfield, you're going to go to your best player. Looks like there's going to be a timeout called by the Leopards.
Another timeout by Blount. We'll double check that. Looks like 81 is Cam Goolsby. So let's go look at 4-8 Region 1. We know last night Williamson got a win over St. Michael. I believe you on the PA call with that one last night, Corey.
Just
good ball game.
Phenomenal game. As you look, 26-23 was the final score.
26-23, right.
It's a lot of fun when you have that type of competitive atmosphere in a high school football game.
Notice Viger, the only team undefeated overall there in 4A Region 1, so they're kind of leading things up there.
5 o'clock tomorrow, they play at Lab People's
5
Stadium
p.m., okay.
against Jackson. Another 5 o'clock p.m. kick for the Viger Wolves. As they're familiar with that kickoff time as they played Blount 3 weeks ago at that same time.
We have a chance here. We can try to get 7A Region 1 up if we're able to before this play. I'm sorry, that was 5A coming up right there. There's 7A Theodore on top right there. 2-0 in the region, 3-0 overall. We know this is a 9-team region. As you can see, Daphne and Davidson and Bryant and Baker all at 1-1, including Foley. So it's a log jam right there in the middle right there in 7A Region 1.
Yeah, Baker taking on tough, I do believe, Bryant team.
They're playing Bryant tonight, right?
Yes, that's going to be a
Murphy
fun.
and MGM at Lad, right?
Correct.
So ball on the 9-yard line, 3rd and 4. Freddie Davis back in. A little delay. They get that one to Goolsby. Flag on the play. Let's see what the call is going to be.
Somebody downfield, maybe too early.
Maybe ineligible. That play took a while to develop, Corey. I thought it was going to be a screen at first.
You rolled him right, and he came back out to his left.
Right.
But side judge throwing that flag.
It took a while to develop.
You look at Freddie Davis, rolls all the way to his right, throws back to his left, and it's going to be coming back.
Ineligible lineman downfield, Corey.
When you ask your lineman to hold, that's a long time to ask them to hold without them advancing into where there's going to be an infraction called, and Billy Pine gives us our signal.
So we've seen that call against Blount called earlier tonight. So it'll be 3rd down and looks like about 9 yards to go for the Leopards. That's a 5-yard penalty. Pushes them back to, the 14-yard line.
You know, I think sometimes that gives you a little bit more room, though, for your wide receivers and your running back to work in this open grass.
Yeah, get a bit more creative. Davis on the move. He can keep it, Corey. He can pick up the 1st down without having to score, and he does as he is brought down.
And look, I tell you
near the 2 or 3 yard line, maybe the 2 yard line.
Look at the patience, though, by quarterback Freddie Davis. He looks to his left, doesn't find his primary. He doesn't want to check the football down. He decides, I have plenty of green grass in front of me. He makes a nice juke move, and I tell you right now, Deshaun Williams was looking to the sideline saying, hey, Coach, I want to score 6 right here. Give me the football, please. I will make something happen.
They're looking like the 4 horsemen there, Corey. Direct snap to Deshaun Williams on the ground, but he's going to plow ahead for 2 yards, and that's a touchdown. 3 yards, I'm sorry. Touchdown.
That's a huge play. As soon as quarterback Freddie Davis got off the turf from that, he looked at the sidelines and said, Coach, you need to feed me. You need to feed me. Well, Coach was able to get his belly full of 6 points right there as Deshaun Williams, the young man, crosses that goal line and gets 6 more points for the Blount Leopards.
Kel Smith on for the extra point. Low snap, he gets the kick up. And it is no good, Corey. Looks good to me, but it's no good. We'll take a break right here in the action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
This is a program for any middle school student who's actually behind. This opportunity offers kids a chance to do 2 grades in 1 year.
If it wasn't for Star Academy, I would still be in 8th grade and probably still struggling.
We are one-on-one. We have small classrooms, and we're able to give students that personal touch, that personal attention.
I know I'm coming to see good teachers, good attitude, and also they're here to teach us what we need to learn.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we'll have the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Kimberly Dunn will go into the stands and get a spectator, ask them a couple questions. One of Corey's favorite. It'll be multiple choice. If they win, Corey, they'll get a Chick-fil-A prize pack.
I love those multiple choice questions. 9 plays for 68 yards for the Blount Leopards. Another 4 first downs on that drive, able to put 6 more on the board.
Josh Pugh bringing it back for the Wildcats. Up the middle he goes. Great return by Pugh to the 41-yard line. 1:47 remaining here in the first half. Citronelle scoreless. They've had opportunities, Corey, but when they get close to the red zone, they just can't go any farther, and the Blount Leopards defense just stiffens up on them.
Here's what you have to see if you're the Citronelle Wildcats. You have to find a way to garner first downs. You have 1:47 left. It's your 2-minute offense here. The quick throws have to be. You've not had a lot of success with that draw and running in between the tackles. You can try to bounce it to the outside, but the speed of this Blount Leopard defense is showing up here in the first half.
A little misdirection, trying to throw it back to Pacey Taylor, incomplete. Adams short hops it, upset with himself after that. That was a nice play call.
Oh,
Corey.
outstanding
Nice
play call as you bring the back out of the backfield, and no one was around him to where if you put a little bit more air underneath that football, the wheel route was wide open, and he would have had an opportunity to have a lot of green grass. That's one that he would love to have back, but second down now and 10 yards to go for Citronelle.
Just couldn't step into it. Trip receivers to the top. Looking to his left. Gets it out to his man, Jordan Dees. 2 Leopards on the tackle to push him back to the 40-yard line. 1 yard loss. 1 yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 11 coming up for Citronelle.
You see the Blount Leopard defense very quick to the football tonight, not allowing a lot of yards after contact, and that was a great stop by Blount's defense. Chris Casher III.
Nice shot of Casher right there from our camera crew. All right, here it is, Corey. 3rd and 11. Citronelle had great field position. 1:07 remaining in the half. And it looks as if we'll have some halftime entertainment. The Blount Leopards, the Marching Leopards here, and the Wildcats, Corey. So we're going to get a show at halftime coming up. Adams trying to put on the show, going over the top to 6'4", Ashton Love. Does he haul it in?
Yes.
That is complete into Leopards territory. Nice grab by Love.
Right here, though, 47.4 seconds remaining. You look at him high pointing the football.
Correct. That's Nasir Powell.
And he's able to come away with it, is Powell. Makes his 4th reception of the season, has 2 touchdowns, but the clock is going against the Wildcats right now.
Powell 6'2". Tall fella himself. Wildcats pushing, trying to get on the board, and boy, one of the Leopards almost tried to get that one for pick 6 to take it to the house, Corey.
And you look at this, the quarterback, Justin Adams, drops back, and that's the 2nd time tonight the Blount defenders have been able to put their hands on the football, but that's just a long, lanky Blount defender being able to come away and bat that football down, and that's exactly what you teach them to do, and he was able to do that. Charles Buford, 6'3", able to do that.
2nd and 10 here for the Wildcats at their own at the Blount 41-yard line. Trying to connect with Ashton Love, incomplete. That stops the clock at 28.7 seconds. Jeff Pippin and Jason Barnett, they have to make a decision here.
Well, what
you want to get some points, Corey.
You don't want to turn the football over trying to get greedy because Blount has the ability to take a pick six back to the house. But right here, you want to make sure that if you're going to go to the end zone, that you don't give Blount much of an opportunity to try to return it.
Adams scrambling out, coming to the right side, just throws up a duck, and it drops right in the hand of Nasir Powell inside the red zone. The Wildcats on the move. That stops the clock at 18.8 seconds.
2-minute offense being run quite efficiently and effectively here as Justin Adams does a good job of avoiding the defender and buying a little bit time. Another timeout called now by the Wildcats is for the first time tonight. I do believe they are in Leopard red zone territory.
That is the first time, Corey, according to my chart here. They've gotten close to the red zone, but this is the first time they're in it. Ball at the 18-yard line. Citronelle trying to get on the board. Blount giving up 12.7 points on defense this season. We noticed last week they lost 2-0. Well, one of the reasons why, Corey, they had 3 drop passes for touchdowns, and they had 2 touchdowns called back. The defense did their job, but Coach Sumter said, we've got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Kind of like you talked about on your checklist. You got to stop those penalties and get into the end zone. They've done it twice tonight, but they have had some costly penalties.
Absolutely, you have to stop hurting yourself, but this is prime real estate for this Citronelle Wildcat offense. His offensive coordinator, Jeff Pippin, has to dial up something out of this timeout because you have to be aware of the clock, too.
I'm going to say look for Love on a fade route to the corner there. He's 6'4", and they're going that way. And the flags come out, Corey.
Bobby Jones, only 5'10". You mentioned it, the height advantage. When you're one-on-one on the island, you make it easy for all eyes to be on you, and that's exactly what happened as the officials pick up on that pass interference call. Now Citronelle only wasting 5 seconds on that fade route to the corner of the end zone, and really, to be honest with you, that's probably a smart penalty by Blount. Instead of giving up the surefire touchdown, they're going to make Citronelle work hard in this red zone area, trying to put their first points of the board.
Ball on the 9-yard line. It's 1st and goal, 13.6 seconds here. Wildcats trying to get some points before we go into the locker room for halftime. Josh Pruitt in the backfield with Justin Adams just to his right. Billy Pines motions for the play clock to start. Trying to go to the receiver, Jordan Dees, incomplete. Stops the clock, 9.6 seconds, 2nd and goal.
I love the play call.
I like that.
I would go probably right back to it
that.
because you look at Nasir Powell and Jordan Dees being 2 of your biggest weapons for the Wildcats. Powell, Love, and Dees down here in this red zone area. You haven't had a lot of success against this big D line of Blount, so you mentioned getting the ball out quickly to the perimeter.
Look at it this way, Corey. Do that same play, but throw it to Love and let him slant and come to the right on the inside as he's lined up on the far side. We have a timeout. I believe that is Blount's last timeout.
Donald Wallace, the defensive coordinator, wants to talk to his Leopards about what he wants to do here on this goal line to go situation for the Citronelle Wildcats with 9.6 seconds. And if the scoreboard reading correctly, Blount has 1 timeout remaining. Citronelle also has 1 timeout remaining. So, with it being set up there at 1 timeout apiece, you still have an opportunity to call a draw or a running play and get your timeout called.
Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge coming up. See if we can get us another winner here tonight with Kimberly Dunn as she goes into the stands to try to serve someone up a Chick-fil-A prize pack. So stick around for that. In addition, we'll have both bands performing, and we'll try to get on the Alabama Sports Writers Association state polls if we can squeeze it in. I know the Wildcat fans are real excited about having the crew up here tonight to broadcast this game. I believe we hadn't been up here in about 4 years, Corey. So far, pretty good. 13-0, Blount on top. 2nd and goal. There's the favor out there going back to Love. Adams overthrows that one. I don't see any flags on the field, Corey.
Now you're in a situation where you must have a field goal with 3.8 seconds remaining. 3rd down and 1 yard to go. Your ball is located right at the 9-yard line. So 19, 29, 8 to 7, 26-yard field goal attempt if you decide to go ahead and go for it from here.
And it doesn't appear if they're going to go for the field goal. They're going to try to run something quick. 3.8 seconds. 3rd and goal. So it's do or die right here for Citronelle. I don't think they have enough time. They're going back to the, and wide open in the end zone. Jordan Dees, a little mixed direction call right there from Jeff Pippin, and the cannons and the horns go off as the Wildcats score with 0 seconds remaining in the half, Corey.
Wonderful execution.
Love it,
as
love
you
it.
Look at Justin Adams setting it up perfectly, as there was a little bit of confusion in the secondary, and how you lose the 6-foot explosive wide receiver for the Wildcats is a tough one that's going to have defensive coordinator Donald Wallace scratching his head. But 6 points, the first of the night for Citronelle, allowing the foghorn and the cannon to go off here.
Hernandez puts it up, and it just makes it over the crossbar, Corey, with no time on the clock. Oh, it's a good one right here. 13-7 as Citronelle scores on the last play of the first half. And they have been working D's all night with the little dink and dunks, and it pays off for him as he gets the score, Corey.
Here's the biggest thing, Al. You've gone an entire pretty much 2 quarters without scoring. Will that momentum carry you into the second half of action? Because you look at the beginning of this football game, I do believe Blount kicked off.
They
so
did.
Citronelle's defense will have an opportunity to gain off of the offensive momentum going into the 3rd quarter, trying to get that stop. Now, if you're Blount, you had back-to-back successful drives. You want to try to find a way to build off of that momentum, but penalties toward the latter part of the 2nd quarter were the biggest part of it. But here in the second half of action, we've got us a great game out here at Citronelle High School.
All right, keep it right here. Halftime is coming up. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-age children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
Let's take it down to the field and listen to the mighty marching Leopards of Blount High School.
The Blount High School Band, we're going to thank you once again for your hospitality. The band is led by the maestro, Mr. James Stallwood. Official band director, Robert Lewis. Junior Jeremy. Auxiliary sponsor, Mr. Sarah Free. Principal Jerome Wood. And we're out here.
Sounds of the mighty marching Leopards there, Corey. Great performance by Blount right there at halftime.
A little September. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We may not play on the 21st night of September, but Blount Band definitely remembers it.
All right, let's take it over to Last Stadium. Check in with our buddy Mike Herndon. He's over there from Murphy at MGM. What's going on, Mike?
Well, Murphy had a slow start to the season with their offense, but they've made up for it in this first half. They're up 17-7 at halftime. They got a field goal from 24 yards out from Eddie Bingy, and then stopped the Vikings on downs at the Mary G 35, marched right down and got another touchdown from Fernando Brown, his second of the night, this one from 17 yards out. 17-7 at halftime, just about to start the second half here at Ladd Peoples Stadium.
All right, Mike, we do appreciate that. We know Murphy's had some troubles with offense, Corey. Last week they got that touchdown late in the fourth quarter as we were having that game against Davidson. How the offense looking to you so far tonight, Mike?
Much better. They're getting a running game going. They've done some horizontal passing game to the screens to kind of open things up in the middle. And Fernando Brown's really kind of got the running game going. Of course, having a short field helped there in the second half. The defense really has tightened up after giving up the long touchdown in the first half, and I think that's kind of spurred the offense by giving them some short field to work with.
All right, Mike, we'll check in with you later on. We do appreciate that, Corey. Fernando Brown, that was a name we called a lot last week against Davidson. They just weren't able to punch it in a lot last week.
Yeah, you know you have to be happy because we know co-offensive coordinator, head coach Rico, has been looking for that type of spark. And Tellis Stone defensively says, okay, I can make the adjustments, only giving up 7 points here at halftime, as Mike mentioned.
All right, let's take it down to the field and check out the marching Wildcats of Citronelle.
You may now take the field for your halftime set. Now everyone get on your feet and let's cheer on the mighty Wildcat Band as they play your fight song.
And right now, let's take it into the stands. It's time for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Who do you have, Kim?
Hi, guys. I am here for our Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. Hey, you ready to answer some questions?
Yes.
Can you tell me what your name is?
JJ.
JJ. And where do you go to school?
McDavid Jones.
Woo! So right here, so when you get old enough for high school, is this where you're going to come to high school?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. And we've been doing some awesome dance moves, too. He'll have to teach y'all some in just a minute. So are you ready to answer your question to win some Chick-fil-A prizes?
Yes.
Okay. What is the official tree of the state of Alabama? Is it the southern pecan, the live oak, the longleaf pine, or the big leaf magnolia? What do you think it is?
The long magnolia.
Oh, close. You said part of it. Let me tell you what that one was. The longleaf pine. Do you think that was the answer?
Yes.
Oh, you were correct on the first try. You are so smart. Look, you get some Chick-fil-A gift cards. Uh-oh. There's 4 of them. I hope you really like Chick-fil-A or you share them with your family. And we also have a Chick-fil-A prize pack. It's full of lots of goodies, and all of that is for you for doing an awesome job. Good job. High five. You're welcome. High five and wave at the camera. Say bye.
Great job, Kim. Great job, JJ, picking up that Chick-fil-A halftime trivia pack. Blount on top 13-7 at halftime. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
It's time to be together again.
To make it safe for our grandparents and parents.
To see live music.
To see our teams play in packed stadiums again.
For our kids to go back to school.
Play sports and get back in the classroom. Masks off.
Masks off.
Masks off.
It's time to get back to doing what we love with who we love.
But it's up to you.
But it's up to you.
But it's up to you.
It's time to talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated.
For your family,
your children, and our community. Together, if we vaccinate,
COVID-19 can't put us back inside again.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
We welcome you back to Gatlin Field here in Citronelle, Alabama. They are down 6 points to Blount, 13-7 in the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Of course, speaking of Citronelle, let's take a look at your checklist at the top of the ball game for the Wildcats as to what they needed to have done to get a win tonight.
Definitely needed to play ahead of the chains, Al, and we saw them struggling the first half right until the end of the second quarter doing that, playing behind down and distance-wise. They had to scratch through in the red zone. Were able to put 7 points on the board here at the end of the second quarter, the last play of the second quarter. They were able to get into the red zone here for the first time of the first half, and they have to contain explosive plays from Blount. Blount really hasn't had any plays over 25 yards. They've just been able to sustain drives down the field that have led to the 13 points on the board. You look at the other side, Blount needed to pull in the pigskin. They had a lot of drops here in the first 3 weeks of action. Tonight, they've been semi-successful here in the game, 7 out of 9 for 84 yards passing, so they've been much more effective. Put a pause on the penalties. They haven't been able to do that.
No,
10 penalties tonight so far for the Blount Leopards, and they needed to flip the field on special teams. They've done a decent job so far of punting the football, trying to be effective doing that, Al.
Let's get on the first half stats if we're able to get that up and dig a little deeper into this, Corey. As you talked about penalties, 10 for 69 for the Leopards, and a few of those, they just weren't even necessary, Corey.
And those are the things that became and gave Citronelle life. Anytime you have 15 yards and 15 yards, that's 33 yards for the Citronelle Wildcat offense, and they were able to take advantage of that, and I'm glad they were able to get on the scoreboard because here at halftime we're at 13-7, but you look at overall total yards, 167 and 109 for Citronelle. Citronelle passing the football, 12 out of 22 was Justin Adams for only 96 yards. He had 13 yards rushing. Blount, on the other hand, Freddie Davis, steady, 7 out of 9. 84 yards passing, 83 rushing yards so far, 2 rushing touchdowns for Deshaun Williams here in the first half of action for the Blount Leopards.
And look at the Blount Leopards offensive attack. Very balanced, Corey, almost a 50-50 split, but probably the most important 9 yards of that passing yards for Justin Adams. That 9-yard pass to Jordan Dees with 0 seconds remaining. It was 3.8. That was either the last play. They were either scoring or going to the locker room with a goose egg.
Perfectly executed offense in the red zone area for offensive coordinator Jeff Pippin and Justin Adams. You couldn't have asked for a better designed play. As you could tell, they've really worked on that and paid attention to the great detail as they caught Blount really going to sleep here in the red zone area as we entered the half. And as you look at this play, nice spin action by Justin Adams, throws across his body, hits a wide open wide receiver in that situation for Jordan Dees. The worst thing that could have happened was him to drop the football being so wide open. He was able to squeeze it, put 6 points on the board. The point after was good. Now, again, I mentioned going into halftime out how effective that the momentum can be here in Citronelle because the Wildcats have to have a stop here to give their offense a little momentum because you don't want to keep playing down 2 touchdowns here early in the second half of action.
You do not want to do that. Blount is going to be receiving the ball coming out of halftime. And you talked about that momentum. Can the defense sustain for Citronelle as we are just seconds away from getting ready for second half action? You got a score update, Cora?
Other scores from around the area. Faith Academy leading 36-0 over LaFleur. Also, Alberta leading Satsuma 23-3. Spanish Fort leading Robertsdale 35-7. And I want to give a big shout out to Ben Blackman and his daughter, who is under some severe medical treatment right now. So we want to send prayers and shout outs to Ben Blackman of Spanish Fort High School for his young daughter. Theodore 14-0 leading over the Daphne Trojans. Also action from around the area. Baker leading Bryant 35-0 at halftime. Chickasaw leading T.R. Miller 8-6. Baldwin County leading Saraland 10-7 here.
Wow.
We mentioned Mike Herndon has that game at Ladd. Murphy now up 24-7. Cottage Hill trailing Floymington 12-10 at halftime. Enterprise all over Davidson 42-7. And also we have Foley leading Fairhope 10-7. The Battle of Old Shell Road, St. Paul's leading UMS 10-0 also.
Gotcha. Bishop State, got to thank them for being a part of our team this year with 4 city campuses and offering students a quality and affordable education. Visit bishop.edu to learn more. Bishop State, a great place to start. Also, Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Got to thank Jim and Susie Sherman at the Greenlight Road location of Firehouse Subs for taking care of us with the eats every week. And lastly, BSN Sports. If you need team apparel, they have it. If you need team equipment, they have it. Visit them, BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com. Randy Hernandez on to kick off here for the Wildcats. And the second half is underway. One of the up guys going to take it for the Leopards as he pushes it near the 41-yard line. Well, looks like the 39, so good field position here for Blount to start the second half.
We'll see how they're able to come out. Freddie Davis playing with a renewed set of confidence. He has a little sidearm throw to him, has not really hit any vertical throws beyond 15 yards, but you don't need to when you have a wonderful running back like Deshaun Williams, as explosive as he is. But here, 3 wides to the right, 2 to the left, empty backfield for Blount.
Davis back there by himself, Corey. Going in motion. One of the receivers there for the Leopards. Chris Casher, I believe.
Swallowed by David Sims in that situation. And you look at that swing pass, you have to make sure that you get a helmet on the cornerback or the defensive end, but great read by the linebacker Sims.
We have a Leopard down on the field, Corey. First play of the second half. Possibly one of the receivers there. Can't exactly get the number.
It happened on the far side of the field.
I don't know if we can see it in the replay or not.
Blount sideline. As the play went here toward the press box side.
Correct. We were told Casher may see some action on offense as quarterback, but he was lined up as a wideout. We'll take a break and come back and check out this young man. Hopefully he'll be able to get off the field with his own power. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
If you look at the numbers, Mobile County Public Schools is making great strides. With more than 53,000 students, 7,000 employees, and 90 schools, we are consistently increasing our 4-year graduation rate and our first-class pre-K program. We continue to strive for national recognition and continue to prepare our students for the global workforce. And we do all of this with one goal in mind, to equip and empower college and career-ready graduates. Mobile County Public Schools. We're learning today, leading tomorrow.
We are back here at Gatlin Field. Second down to 15 coming up here for the Leopards. Blitz coming in off the edge, and I believe that pass is intercepted, Corey. Our first turnover of the night. Looks like an interception by the Wildcats. I think number 39 on
Ben
that.
Brown.
Ben Brown.
5'10", 175-pound sophomore, sits on top of that route. Sidearm throw. Anytime you're sidearming it, the safety comes up and reads it, does a wonderful job making sure he gets both hands underneath that football, and it does not touch the grass. That's the big momentum that this Wildcat defense needed to give to this offense. Let's see if they're able to go ahead and get that offense in the same gear that they had it right before halftime.
You talked about that sidearm delivery of Freddie Davis, Corey. Great observation. And Brown comes up with the pickoff. Ball at the 31-yard line of Blount. Citronelle takes over. Oh, what a great screen they set up right there to Josh Pugh, and he just plows into the red zone. He loses the ball, but it goes out of bounds. So he'll be down right there.
I love the misdirection and the wheel route out of the backfield. You just forget about the back. When you have that high-intensity attack, you don't have enough bodies to cover him in the flat, and it's just missed assignment. He plows forward for those extra yards. First and goal to go, I do believe now, for Citronelle.
On the 13-yard line of Blount, as Jordan Dees moves into his formation. Nasir Powell in the slot. Ashton Love here on the near side. There's a little screen, almost picked off by Blount, Corey. They could have returned the favor.
That delayed screen action was almost intercepted on the play by defensive end Terrence Campbell. You look at him get his hands up. He tries to knock it away.
Sure did.
Was almost able to come away with it. But what a big-time play, the previous play by Josh Pugh. Able to go ahead and gain positive yardage, putting the Wildcats in the red zone area for the second time in tonight's contest.
Second down to 10, ball on the 13-yard line. Adams has time, rolls to his right, and he's sacked by Terrence Campbell. Corey brought down for a big loss at the 20-yard line. It's going to be third and about 15 coming up here for Citronelle.
You love the pursuit by the defensive end. This young man, 6'4", 215 pounds, shows his speed from his defensive end position, and now the Wildcats have been put in reverse as the Leopards have kind of bucked up here inside the red zone area.
About third and 16 here. Ball at the 20. Low snap for Adams. He rolls to his left. Does connect with Jordan Dees. I think Dees is going to be close but short by about a yard, Corey, for making the first down.
Hey, we saw head coach Barnett roll the dice.
He sure did.
Right before the end of the second quarter. Here it is now. He's faced with a fourth down and 1 yard to go for Citronelle. Do you call timeout to talk about it now? 27 seconds left on the play clock. So plenty of time to get your thoughts together and to get the play in to make sure you're able to get that 1 yard. Let's see, you're in the shotgun, already 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
That always concerns me, Corey, in short yardage. He's got Josh Pugh right there next to him. Dees goes into motion. They give it to Pugh, and coming up,
fumble recovery.
Cale Smith comes up and knocks it out. So literally it is a fumble recovery, but it's ball over on downs anyway, Corey. It's 4th down.
Huge stop by the Blount Leopards. Nonetheless, here, you weren't able to come away with it. Not a clean exchange.
Yeah.
And Cale Smith, the 5'10", 180-pound senior, was able to deny the Wildcats getting 6 on the board and possibly tying up this contest. But what a costly turnover here in the red zone area, whether it was turnover on downs or whether it was going to be a fumble.
We're going to call that one turnover. He knocked it out, Corey.
It was definitely loose. It wasn't a clean exchange. So, you know, they needed to scratch through in the red zone. Part of my checklist, Citronelle was clawing but was not able to pierce the Blount Leopards.
1st and 10, ball on the 6-yard line as Freddie Davis just plows forward for a couple of yards as he gets it up to the 10-yard line. 4-yard gain. Kind of take the pressure off as the Leopards near their own goal line.
Positive yardage is all you want to do. You want to push that big line of scrimmage now, creating down a 2nd down and long 8 yards to go.
Yep, it's on the 9. So they have Davis back in that kind of leopard cat formation, and look at him go, Corey. That's enough for a 1st down as he gets it up to the 17-yard line. Big play by the big senior quarterback.
Well, it totally changes the dynamics of what you're able to call here offensively, as head coach Dedrick Sumter is on the sideline signaling in the calls for the Blount Leopards. As we're at 1st down and 10, and Coach Sumter playing and coaching with a lot of intensity over there on the sidelines.
All right, here's that formation. Deshaun Williams with the direct snap. Comes to the near side here. Picks up a couple. Let's check in with Kimberly. She has an injury update for us.
That's right, guys. I went and checked on our injured player, number 9 for the Blount Leopards. They said that they believe he just hyperextended his knee. He's over on the sidelines right now, walking on his own power and his own will. He has a little bit of discomfort, but he's hoping to be back on this field before the game's over.
All right, Kimberly, we do appreciate that. Number 9, we have him down. That's Chris Casher, Corey.
That'll be big-time loss for Blount. He's been playing both sides
of
football also.
And we have a penalty against Citronelle, unsportsmanlike. See if we can get some audio on our buddy Billy Pines tonight. I think I heard a quick 1st down. So it's 1st down Blount. I got that much out of Billy Pines. So Blount now at the 36-yard line, Corey, after that personal foul. Direct snap to Williams once again. He goes to the left. Falls forward about 4 or 5, but a flag has been thrown onto the field.
And Williams, out of that formation, runs over his offensive lineman, Peyton Daly Locke, the 6', 295-pound senior. That's hard to do, to run over 295 pounds, but his own teammate pushed forward.
Well, unfortunately, Corey, it's coming back. A holding call. So that's going to penalize the Leopards back to the 25-yard line. So it's looking to be about 1st and 21 here. Ball on the 25-yard lines. Blount going backwards here. 7:44 in the 3rd quarter. Al Whedon, Corley Bounty on the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn. And Williams smashed behind the line of scrimmage, but some kind of way, Corey, he gets out of it and gets a couple of yards.
Just shows the power that this young man has. Is a couple of players for the Wildcats, David Sullivan, and also his teammate was able to come up and help him on that tackle. But positive yardage, making 2 or 3 yards out of nothing here. The full house backfield again. The Leopards are setting up some type of pass play out they should get like that right now, Al.
Yep, and he is sacked brought down. Freddie Davis sacked by the Wildcats, taking a big loss right there.
Lathan Farmer, our impact player, comes away with close to his 19th tackle of the season. He comes unchecked from his linebacker position. The 6', 210-pound senior comes away with a big-time stop, and the Leopards now have the longest down and distance of the game here in the second half.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, Corey. It is third in the country mile here for Leopards coming up. Another direct snap to Deshaun Williams, another pre-snap penalty. And speaking of the number check, Corey, I did a double check on the roster. Blount has 2 9s. And I thought on that play where the player was injured, Casher came in motion and they were throwing to him. I don't think they put 2 9s on the field at the same time, but they have a 9 for Tyler Tucker. So that's a head scratcher for me there, Corey.
Yeah, I do have Tyler Tucker listed as a running back, the 5'5", 135-pound sophomore. We just have to look from statue
that one.
height-wise. One is 5'5", the other is close to 6 foot to be able to tell the difference.
So that offsides against Citronelle. Deshaun Williams, and this series, after Blount gets the turnover, stripping Josh Pugh, this series has gone nowhere, Corey. They got up to the 31-yard line. That's the actual line of scrimmage, but Blount has shot themselves in the foot, gone backwards, and it is 4th down, and Citronelle is looking to get some great field position if they can get this punt catch.
Andre Lynch, the 5'7", 172-pound senior, makes his 21st tackle of the season, and none could be bigger here as the Wildcats are trailing 13-7, but are about to receive this football with prime real estate to operate in.
Coming up, we're going to have the Game of the Week Brain Buster. Put the question out there. I believe we possibly may receive our heat timeout after this punt. Nice punt by Myron Dunklin. Back to the Wildcats, 38-yard line. We'll see if Billy Pines calls for the heat timeout right here at 5:14. They haven't signaled yet, but we'll see. And there is his call right there at the 5:14 mark, so we'll take our heat timeout. Citronelle is going to get the ball at their own 38-yard line. We'll take a break, come back, and give you the Game of the Week Brain Buster question. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
This is a program for any middle school student who's actually behind. This opportunity offers kids a chance to do 2 grades in 1 year.
If it wasn't for Star Academy, I would still be in 8th grade and probably still struggling.
We are one-on-one. We have small classrooms, and we're able to give students that personal touch, that personal attention.
I know I'm coming to see good teachers, good attitude, and also they're here to teach us what we need to learn.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines.
Hey guys, when we came out of halftime, I was able to talk to Coach Sumter about what the atmosphere was like in the locker room, and he said that his guys are hungry. They are hungry for this win, and they are excited to get it. They said, we've been in this position before with this same kind of scoreboard, and we are ready to just push through, to finish strong, to make the connections, and to avoid penalties for the rest of the game. He said we're motivating our guys to have no more mistakes so that we can get this first region win.
Thank you, Kimberly. Unfortunately, we saw a few of those mistakes on that last possession, Corey. Offense went backwards, had to punt it to Citronelle, their second time touching the pigskin in the second half. A false start against them pushes them back 5 yards, so it's 1st and 15 from their own 38. I'm sorry, 32. Incomplete pass, 2nd down coming up here for Citronelle.
Pass attempted for Nasir Powell, but again, I think that Citronelle can have a lot of success throwing the football in between the hashes here against this Blount Leopard defense, but you got to come away with those type of catches.
Yeah.
If you are the Citronelle Wildcats trailing this contest now, behind the sticks, it's 2nd down and close to 16 or 17 yards to go.
One thing Coach Barnett told me, he says, we have to stop big explosive plays for Blount. They haven't really had too many explosive plays, but he says we need to make some explosive plays. They had a great one. Last play of the second quarter to go into the locker room to get a touchdown. Right here, opportunity, 3rd and 15 coming up. They haven't taken advantage of this pretty good field position, Corey.
And talking to Coach Barnett earlier in the week, he mentioned that one of the critical factors of the loss that they had 1 week ago is them not being able to get into the red zone area and score.
Yeah.
Same situation tonight. You get down to that 5-yard line, you're scratching and clawing, and now you turn the football over on downs or actual turnover because the ball was ripped loose off a bad handoff. Now Citronelle doesn't want to bog down here.
Adams goes back in the pocket, has time, rolls to his right, dumps it down to Nasir Powell. That's not enough to even get back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 4th down, and the punting unit will come on for Citronelle.
Anthony Jones does a great job coming up and has a little help making that stop, but Blount defense finds a way to hold here. The scoreboard says 13-7 with Blount leading Citronelle here at War Memorial Stadium.
Ty Beverly setting up at his own 34-yard line. And we're waiting for the punt here from Andon Lynch. Play clock under 10. And Lynch boots it. Beverly just going to stay away from it as Citronelle is going to down the ball at about the 27-yard line. Get ready to mark your calendar, folks. October 11th, Teachers Workday. All schools will be closed on October 11th for Teachers Workday, so make sure you mark your calendar as we draw close to that. No school for the kids, but the teachers will show up. It's Teachers Workday, so October 11th, make sure, parents, that you mark your calendar. 1st and 10, ball on the 27-yard line. Blount with their 3rd possession of the 3rd quarter here. Hand off to Deshaun Williams, picks up maybe 1 or 2. It'll be 2nd down coming up for Blount.
And you look at Blount being 13-2 all time versus Citronelle, trying to take that record to 14-2, but more importantly, pick up a Region 1 win here in 6A play as we're getting late here into the 3rd quarter of action.
Yeah.
Blount trying to put a string of 1st downs together as they were able to do in the 1st half.
2nd down and 8. Little quick pass out to the receiver. I believe that was a lateral, Corey.
That's one of those drops that you saw a lot of a couple of weeks ago.
We've
and
seen
that
a
Myron
few
Dunkley.
weeks.
I do believe that was not able to look that one
Yep.
in. And you just have to go ahead and look that in, and it's going to be ruled incomplete.
It's going to be ruled incomplete, not a lateral. So down marker does not move. 3rd and 8 coming up here. You're talking about 6A Region 1, Corey. Citronelle, this is their 4th year playing in 6A Region 1. They are 2-22 all time. This is their 25th ball game in region play. Quick draw to Deshaun Williams, and boy, he busted up the middle. Gets the 1st down on a little more for the Leopards.
Blount trying to go tempo right here. Deshaun Williams begging for the football again. He's saying, Coach, please feed me in this tempo situation, because he's going to get stronger as the game goes along. And if he gets past the line of scrimmage, you're going to see that extra burst that he does have.
Chain gang hasn't even set up yet. There's Williams weaving once away for 2 or 3 yards. As we get close to the end of the 3rd quarter, I think we'll probably get the Game of the Week Brainbuster up question then for you, Corey, between the quarters as the clock continues to move, and the Leopards are moving to midfield. Ball now at the 46-yard line.
Good job of stopping Lathan Farmer, the linebacker. Comes up with a big stop. 6 foot, 210-pound senior on the stop behind the line of scrimmage for the Wildcats.
Bunch set right here. Receivers, are they going to set up that screen going to Dunklin? He has some room. Farmer's trying to chase him down. Gets him from behind with the tackle, but that's a 1st down, and the Leopards are in Citronelle territory.
Driving on the Leopards, just a quick throw. We saw that throw drop on the other swing pass.
Sure did.
Now you go right back to it on the other side and give Dunklin an opportunity to catch this swing pass. And now Blount's picking up the tempo here offensively. Coach Sumter sees something he likes.
Yeah, they're running tempo. The same formation right here. And they hand it off to Williams, little misdirection. And the Wildcats bow up. Maybe a 1-yard gain for Deshaun Williams.
And you have to remember, Coach Sumter taking over for Lev Holly, who did an outstanding job for this Blount Leopard program. And again, Blount being one of the winningest programs in this decade.
In the past decade.
In the Mobile County public school system.
That's
and
right.
Really in the city, public and private. A lot of success here. And Coach Sumter taking over for Coach Holly, coming over from Williamson, not knowing he was going to be the head coach, trying to get a huge win, his first at Blount.
Another screen to Myron Dunklin, but Citronelle not having any of that as David Sims comes in to shut it down for a loss. It's going to be 3rd and long coming up here for the Leopards.
David Sims just has really diagnosed plays very well all night for this Citronelle Wildcat defense. As you're looking at this big fella weighing 230 pounds, but moves very well and is very quick to the football.
Timeout called by the Blount Leopards at 1:07 here remaining in the 3rd quarter. So since we have a break, Corey, let's put it up. Time for the game of the week, Brain Buster. All right, Corey, there have been 2 coaches at Citronelle to win more than 10 games in a season. Ashley Johnson is one. Name the other. That is your game of the week, Brain Buster. And I know we're a minute 7 from the end of the quarter. We typically try to give you the answer between the quarters, so maybe we'll give you a little more. Do you need any more extra time to think about it, Corey, or you think you may have it?
It's not a multiple choice question.
No, Are you filing a protest, Corey? Are you filing a protest?
You know, Chick-fil-A gets a multiple choice question, and here it is on this Brain Buster. I do not, but I'll think about it during in between quarters.
You know what? We'll give you a break in between quarters. Let you think about it, and we'll give you an answer on the other side. We don't want to put too much pressure on you because you know you got to mark your calendar. Teacher workday's coming up October 11th, so I want you to be ready for the end of the quarter exam, Corey. Got to give a shout out to my buddy Lance Andrew out there in Austin, Texas. He's a Citronelle Wildcat watching us online along with Mark Fisher in Houston. So we've got some long distance viewers tonight, Corey, checking out this great 6A Region 1 matchup. 3rd and 10, big play right here for the Leopards. They don't want this drive to come to a close. They've done very well. Their 3rd time possessing the ball in the 3rd quarter. David's on the move. They're flushing him out. He's just going to throw a flailing duck. Incomplete, but flags are on the field, Corey.
Yeah, he did a wonderful job of just extending the play, finding a way not to get sacked, was running for his life, and I'm not quite sure the right around ineligible player down the field.
That's the 3rd time that call has been done against Blount. So Citronelle will decline.
What happens, though, when your quarterback tries to extend the play when it's supposed to go in a particular direction? The linemen don't know what the quarterback has done with the football, and that's why you've seen that play and that flag call pretty much every time. 4th down, 10 yards to go now. Blount needs to get an end-over-end roll right here, but Citronelle, if they can field this punt and get in good field position, try to gain some momentum in the special teams play.
Speaking of special teams, Corey, I wonder if Blount may be thinking about something. Donald Wallace, special teams coordinator. But they are going to punt it. No trickeration there. Nice punt by Dunklin. Takes a big Blount bounce. Citronelle's going to down it at their own 10-yard line with 59.5 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. No scoring in the 1st quarter. We had all of our points in the 2nd quarter, and so far, no points here in the 3rd quarter. Here comes the Citronelle offense led by Justin Adams. This is their 3rd time possessing the ball here in the 2nd half. Trying to get some type of momentum, down 6 points in a pretty tight ball game here tonight with the Blount Leopards. Low snap to Adams as he rolls out to his right. Try to connect with Pacey Taylor. Correction on it, Austin Reed, intended receiver, as one of the Blount Leopards came up to try to pick it off. It'll be 2nd and 10 here for Citronelle.
Citronelle just needs something positive to
Sure
happen. We see that they play very well at the end of quarters as they did at the end of the second quarter, but all it takes is one big strike for them to have momentum going, and you get a positive run and a nice tackle.
Hand off
by
to Pacey
Blount.
Taylor. Kel Smith on that tackle takes Taylor down, Corey.
And you look at this replay, Kel Smith coming up and absolutely laying the lumber. Kel Smith from a strong safety position just dumps Pacey Taylor
Nice
down
run.
on the ground, and 25 seconds remaining here. Citronelle facing 3rd down and 4 yards to go. We want to try to convert this before the quarter ends, getting a first down.
Adams rolling to his right. Gets the pass, and Powell stretches out. I believe it's complete, Corey. What a grab by Nasir Powell in his 6'2 frame.
That is the type of reception that you need, taking you into the 4th quarter, but what a great job he does. But again, you do have that penalty flag down. Not a lot of flags in the first half called against the Wildcats, but that's one maybe costly as they did have enough for the first down, Al.
I believe it's coming back as it is. They're marching it off. Let's see if Billy Pines will talk to us, Corey. So an ineligible for Citronelle. We've seen that call 3 times, called against Blount tonight, and it rears its ugly head for the Wildcats right there. That was a great catch by Nasir Powell.
Negated. Now the Wildcats facing a 3rd down and 8 yards to go, and they still need to convert here going into the 4th quarter as quarterback scrambling.
Adams throws it up to Dees. Too high. Dees can't haul it in. It was 3rd and 8. So the Blount defense has held with the help of a penalty from Citronelle. 3.8 seconds remains here in the 3rd quarter. We are at Gatlin Field in Citronelle, Alabama. Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty on the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn, statisticians China Powell and Matt Moore having a good time. Corey, I know it is September, but man, it feels like late fall September. Great weather here tonight and a great looking field here at Gatlin Field. I got to say, Corey, this is a nice field.
Yeah, the grass is definitely green. They've done a great job keeping this field ready for play.
Andon Lynch with the punt. Ty Beverly, he's going to field it at about his own 44. I'm sorry, the Citronelle 44. Flags do come in. And the Wildcats going to stop him. They're going to stop forward motion there. Sorry, forward progress, but a flag here on the 40-yard line on the near side. We'll get that call, and then we'll take a break between quarters. Billy Pines and the officiating crew definitely putting in some work here in the 3rd quarter tonight,
My buddy Billy Pine, he is an outstanding official, calls multiple sports for the AHSAA, and it's something that the AHSAA needs more of. Need more officials. And I know basketball is about to have their first official meeting at Davidson High School at 4:00 p.m. this coming Sunday, as we did hear a little bit of Billy Pine. But again, officials are needed in every sport across the state of Alabama in high school athletics, and there's a basketball meeting this coming Sunday for any interested officials who want to help out these student athletes.
All right, there's the call from Corey LeBounty. We're going to take a break and come back and reveal the answer to the Game of the Week Brainbuster. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
It was just like an extension of home.
Bishop give you that outlet to give you a career, a successful career.
We're doing some great things at Bishop State. Keep an eye on us.
All right, we return back to Gatlin Field for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Started the 4th quarter, and we started off with a flag, Corey. But before we take it back down to the field, I'm sorry, Detrick Sumter's called timeout, so he's giving you a little more time to think about it, Corey. There have been 2 coaches at Citronelle to win more than 10 games in a season. Ashley Johnson is one. Name the other.
I know Jeff Kelly is from Deer Park, right here close to Citronelle, but no, he never coached.
He never coached. He played at Citronelle.
Rusty Funk. I'm trying to think if he coached here at Citronelle.
Yeah, Rusty Funk was the
wins.
coach before Jason Barnett. Barnett was the defense coordinator on Rusty Funk's staff.
10 wins. I can't recall him having 10 wins or more than 10 games in a season.
All right.
Barry Gibson, I know, coached here.
You throwing some names out, Corey.
Just going in reverse here, trying to think, and I can't really find my two coaches besides Ashley Johnson.
All right, we're playing an untimed down. This is the last down of the third quarter. We'll come back and reveal the answer as Deshaun Williams reveals a big run for the Leopards right there to pick up the first down. All right, Corey, you want to take a guess or just I don't know tonight.
I need a multiple choice.
And when you see it, you're going to say, oh, man. Go ahead and bring it up, Wade and Miss Diane. So here's your answer, Corey. Ronnie Massey went 12-2 in 1991, Corey. Now I typically give you a +1, but tonight I'm going to give you a +1.5.
Okay.
The year that Ronnie Massey went 12-2 in 1991, Citronelle went real deep in the playoffs. Take a guess, what was the team that knocked them out of the playoffs? Take a guess, Corey.
Is it the Blount
The
Leopards?
Blount Leopards, Corey. And here's your +1.5. Ronnie Massey left Citronelle and went and coached at Grissom for about 9 to 10 years. In his career, he had double-digit wins twice. He won 12 at Citronelle, and guess how many did he win at Grissom one year, Corey?
12 as
He
well.
won 12, Corey. There's your +1.5. So we're going to make you feel a little better tonight.
That's the bonus points that bring you out of your failing grade. You get a D instead of an E.
So, Corey, we want you to pass. But good effort. Yeah, Ronnie Massey, legendary coach here. And big ups to my man Lance out in Austin. He had the question correct, Corey. He texted his answer in to me. All right, now we're officially starting the fourth quarter. Ball on the 35-yard line of Citronelle. And Blount is continuing to do what they've done all night, give the ball to Deshaun Williams. As he picks up about 6 or 7 on that carry. So it's going to be 2nd and about 3 here coming up for the Leopards. Quick out to Cartel Washington. He turns on the juice, takes it inside of the red zone to about the 10-yard line, and we do have a Leopard down on the field. I think that's Peyton Daly-Locke getting up a little gimpy, and a Wildcat on the far side, Corey, near the 20-yard line. I don't know if that's Lathan Farmer or not. I have to pull out my binoculars. Peyton Daly-Locke has gotten up, but yeah, that's Lathan Farmer down on the far side near the 20.
And
maybe it could be cramps.
And while Billy Pine is standing there making sure and tending to the officials, that is correct. I'm going to correct myself that I'm thinking that we're already close to the 19th. Today is only the 10th of September. The first basketball meeting is September 19th, 2021 at Davidson High School.
Corey.
So we still need basketball officials.
You're still putting the plea
September 19th, so I'm a week early on that plea for basketball officials.
We'll take a break and come back and meet you on the other side. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Lathan Farmer coming off of the field limping, one of your impact players tonight on that Citronelle Wildcat defense.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge loss as he is a big-time tackler and signal caller as the Leopards are creeping into this red zone area trying to put 6 on the board.
They send Farmer into the tent, and they give the ball to Deshaun Williams, and guess what he does? He runs it into the end zone for 10 yards. That's his 3rd touchdown of the night as the Blount cheerleaders go wild.
Well, his jersey number matches his touchdown total on the night, but here's a young man who gets a great look from his push on the offensive line, and he's just bowling through defenders as he scores another 6. And I don't think he should wear number 3. I just think he should just wear number 6 because this is what this young man strives for each and every time he touches the football.
Looks like the Leopards are going to go for 2 here, Corey, try to pick up that extra point they missed earlier. They give it to Myron Dunklin, who passes it to Chris Casher III. The 2-point try is good. Blount on top, 21-7. We'll be back for more action for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State.
This is a program for any middle school student who's actually behind. This opportunity offers kids a chance to do 2 grades in 1 year.
If it wasn't for Star Academy, I would still be in 8th grade and probably still struggling.
We are one-on-one. We have small classrooms, and we're able to give students that personal touch, that personal attention.
I know I'm coming to see good teachers, good attitude, and also they're here to teach us what we need to learn.
Are you just a couple of classes away from earning your degree? Or are you thinking about returning to school but not ready for a full load? Bishop State's mini-terms are just for you. Mini-terms are 8-week-long classes that help students take steps toward earning their degree in less time. The next mini-term session begins October 14th. So go ahead and register today. Visit their website at bishop.edu or stop by and let them help you. Bishop State, a great place to start.
A great place to start for the Blount Leopards is kicking the football off, because that means that they scored a touchdown. And, you know, you talk about the Blount band coming to life, and now they're leading 21-7 after that 2-point conversion.
Kel Smith kicks it over there to Pacey Taylor. He's going to be down at about the 24-yard line. Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn for another injury update.
Hey guys, I was able to check on our Citronelle Wildcat, and those cramps are starting to get these boys. He was dealing with a major cramp in the back of his leg, and they were massaging it out, trying to get him back on the field and get him feeling better.
Thank you, Kimberly. Lathan Farmer she's talking about. So it was the cramps, Corey, as he did go into the tent, but we don't see Farmer out there on the field. Well, I'm sorry, offense out there right now. We won't see Farmer.
That Blount scoring drive, 4 plays for 50 yards. Capped off by Williams' 3rd touchdown of the night.
Adams rolling out, and he is sacked.
Fumble.
But no, that ball comes out. You're right, Corey. It is live. The beanbag came out. Looks like Citronelle does recover it. Adams falls on top of it.
You know, Blount is playing with a lot of energy, and, you know, you look at that.
Jacoby Jackson knocked it out there.
And that could have been the dagger for the Wildcats if they turned that football off deep in their own territory.
2nd and long here for the Wildcats. Same formation. They've been running this a lot tonight. Trip receivers to the near side. Look, quick pass to Jordan Dees. I believe it was tipped at the line, Corey.
It was tipped and caught by Dees.
Good
concentration by this young man having.
Here's the replay there, Corey. Yep, tipped at the line.
And that's probably the 3rd or 4th batted ball at the line of scrimmage by this Blount Leopard defense.
3rd and long coming up here for the Wildcats. Good concentration by Dees to even haul the pass in. Adams is sacked and taken down, Corey. Was that Jacoby Jackson once again? 98 in on the action?
Yeah, big fella.
Wow.
6 foot, 230-pound junior, playing with a lot of push and juice at the line of scrimmage, and just cleans up for the Blount Leopards and brings up 4th down and a way to go for the Wildcats.
After this play, we're going to check in with our buddy Mike Herndon, who's over there at Lab People Stadium. He's watching the Murphy-MGM matchup.
See if Murphy's able to turn on the offensive gas pedal tonight.
Yeah. Aiden Lynch in his own end zone. And Ty Beverly setting up at the Citronelle 43-yard line.
I would be straight return right here if I'm the Blount Leopards.
Take it on the bounce. There it is. Here comes Beverly. He's brought down at the 30, and a flag comes in. Let's check in with our buddy Mike Herndon over there at Lab People Stadium. See what's going on with the Murphy MGM matchup. How you doing, Mike?
Doing great. Murphy does indeed have its offense in gear and its defense and its special teams. They've scored just about every way you can score here in the second half. 4 touchdowns after halftime to take a 45-7 lead with just under 3 minutes to play in the game. Corey Kelly scored twice, a 9-yard touchdown run and a punt return of about 60 yards. They got a defensive score on a fumbled shotgun snap, that DeJuan Lucky picked up and ran about 15 yards for a touchdown. And then Brandon Bendoff just added a 5-yard run early in the fourth quarter. 45-7 with just under 3 minutes to play.
All right, Mike, we do appreciate that, all the hard work you're doing for us tonight. Murphy really got it in gear tonight, Corey.
And that's exactly what the Murphy Panthers needed, as you're looking at what the Blount Leopards needed, seeking their first win of the season, starting off 0-3. Really played an outstanding first half against Viger in the kickoff game in the Battle of Pritchard.
Sure did.
And we saw them struggle in the second half. And in the second week when you played Greenville comes from behind and is able to defeat you. And then, of course, the 2-0 game last week against Baldwin County. And Coach Sumter has taken over the offensive play calling duties tonight and is doing a wonderful job, as evident as the 21-7 lead so far for the Blount Leopards, led by Deshaun Williams. This young man putting on an offensive showcase.
Sure is.
And we mentioned him as an impact player, and we can see he's just running the football extremely hard.
Second carry right there on this possession. Takes the ball up to about the 35-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd and short coming up here for the Leopards. And Deshaun Williams making his case for the Career Tech Education Player of the Ball game tonight. Corey, he has 3 touchdowns all on the ground, but impactful plays. Ironically, no scoring in the first and third quarters, just in the second and fourth quarter so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that score right before the half that gives Citronelle a lot of momentum going into halftime. Blount was able to come away with a stop after Citronelle was not able to score in the red zone area, fumbling that football away. Now Blount's trying to salt this game away, going over the top.
There it is, over the top. Little hitch and go route to Myron Dunklin, incomplete. You got to see the arm of Freddie Davis right there, overthrows him. They were trying to put 6 on the board.
Yeah, we know this young man does have a tremendous arm. The transfer from McGill-Tulin, and, you know, all he has to do, again, his numbers very solid at halftime. 7 out of 9 was his completion rate, and you start throwing the football with a lot of confidence. And besides the 1 interception that he threw right here, there was a great defensive play by the Citronelle safety. You look at him playing a very solid game, and when you're having the running back abilities of Deshaun Williams, it never hurts either.
4th down and short. They're just going to go for it. Why not? Give it to Deshaun Williams as he was going up the middle. Not a horse collar, but brought down for the tackle, but gets the first down, Corey.
Very important. And here's a young man that had an opportunity as a freshman to play behind his brother 1 year ago for this same Blount Leopards team. And I think he's learned a lot, not only from his brother, but the valuable playing time that he gained 1 year ago as a freshman.
They go back to Williams once again. Andon Lynch and Lathan Farmer comes back into the ball game after those cramps to hold him up. So no gain right there for Deshaun Williams. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Citronelle 29. Corey, as I mentioned, Deshaun Williams making his case for Career Tech Education Player of the Game as we are here at the 6-minute, approaching the 6-minute mark. Blount taking their time in the pistol formation right now. It's maybe the first time we've seen this formation tonight, Corey. We've seen a few.
The biggest thing is, can you get positive yardage out of it behind this big push offensive line?
And Citronelle pretty much expecting them to run. They give that one to, I believe, Tyler Tucker, number 9. As Billy Pines calls for the heat timeout. We'll put up where we're going next week Well, Corey, speaking of battles, we have the Battle of O'Shea Road tonight. Next week, it's the Battle of West Mobile, as it is Baker versus MGM. Next Friday, make sure you join us at 6:50. We'll come up live with the pregame kickoff show brought to you by Bishop State. So, Battle of West Mobile next week. We'll get to see our buddy Stan McCain out there, Corey, in Vikings land.
We always love to compare these fields.
We do.
And I know you're a grass man in regards to manicuring your own.
I was out there today.
But and I tell you what, we like to see how green the grass is and how clean a field looks overall, because the playing surface makes a huge difference.
It really does.
When these young athletes come and play on it, especially with the rain that we normally get in Mobile, Alabama around this time of year.
So look at the irony, Corey. We start off the season making history, doing 3 games back-to-back on field turf. In the past 3 weeks, we've been on natural grass, and we'll be on natural grass again next week. Think about that.
Looking forward to going out there and seeing a great contest, as I do believe Baker came away with a huge win tonight over, or is leading the Bryant Hurricanes. So we'll see if MGM is able to bounce back.
Correct.
And always, like you said, Coach McCain, such a class act for that Viking program.
Yeah, real great guy. And I can't wait to see the new logo and new unis they have out there too, man. 3rd and 5 coming up here, as Blount just taking their time, playing very smart, letting the game clock and the play clock run down. Handoff once again. I'm going to say it's Tucker, Corey.
Yeah,
it is.
Not
Chris Casher.
I'm going to go with Tucker,
you know,
too.
Tucker has on the pink gloves. Yeah. Here we go. How do they say when you can't tell identical twins apart? Just put a bow in one hair and put some gloves on them or something. So Tucker goes out of the game after picking up the first down. Maybe they've given a rest to a Deshaun Williams, but no, he's back on the field right now.
But here's the thing. When you are able to rest him, if he hits that burst and hits that hole, this Citronelle defense has been on the field for quite a long time here in the second half. And as evident as the cramps hitting, and we'll see if he gets past the line of scrimmage, can he match and multiply his jersey number?
And Blount has pretty much controlled the 4th quarter. You talked about that last scoring drive, 4 plays for 50 yards. When Deshaun Williams ran it in for a 10-yard touchdown. This is only Blount's 2nd time touching the ball here in the 4th quarter, as we are approaching under 4 minutes. And Corey, what do you think about a Career Tech education? What do you think about Deshaun Williams tonight as our player of the game?
You know, I think scoring 3 touchdowns for the Blount Leopards, I think him and Freddie Davis would definitely be 2 options to look at for the Blount Leopards as difference makers in the contest. But so far, without question, you look at Deshaun Williams, 5'11", 190-pound sophomore, is only going to get stronger as he ages. And I look forward to watching him in the purple and white.
He'll quick out to Cartel Washington, and he stretches out, and that is a touchdown for the Blount Leopards, 19 yards on a little screen pass right there. And they score 1 through the air, Corey.
Freddie Davis gets his throwing touchdown of the season. 4 touchdowns now on the season for this young quarterback. As you look at Cartel Washington, scores his 1st touchdown of the season for the Blount Leopards. The 5'8", 160-pound sophomore getting it done. Cartel Washington Jr., as a matter of fact, folks, he is only a sophomore, scores his 1st touchdown. Great job
sure is.
Of blocking down the field by the Blount Leopards, and that's a huge confidence maker for the Blount Leopards.
Blount calls timeout right here at 3:57 left in the contest, up 27-7 over Citronelle. Citronelle came out the gate fighting early, Corey, just couldn't get into the red zone and getting the points on the board. And we saw Blount kind of shoot themselves in the foot a few times during the night with penalties, but they seem to get things together. 2 touchdowns from Deshaun Williams in the 2nd quarter. But late in the 2nd quarter, matter of fact, the last play of the 2nd quarter, Citronelle gets on the board and keeps it close. Well, at halftime, we were up. It was 13-7 at half.
8-play, 43-yard drive.
Okay.
And when you start talking about Blount's drives tonight for scores, you're looking at 4, 5, 6 first downs being chewed up in the first half as they were able to score a couple of touchdowns. Here in the second half, you start talking about 4, 5, and 6 play drives again.
Right.
But Citronelle's defense has just been on the field for a little bit longer than Coach Barnett would like for it to be. And he mentioned too early in the week about how close his games were.
That's right.
Going into the fourth quarter and just not being able to get over that hump and finishing strong. But it's not like this Citronelle team doesn't fight with you, and you have to execute very well to beat this team. But as soon as Citronelle finds a way to put all 4 quarters together, they're going to start stringing together a lot of wins. It's just a matter of them finding a way to finish.
Low snap there to the holder coming after a timeout. That try not looking good at all for the Leopards, but they're on top looking good right now, 27-7. We'll be back with more. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State. Welcome you back to Gatlin Field in Citronelle, Alabama. Blount on top, 27-7 over Citronelle. Al Wheaton, Corey Bounty, Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines. Time to reveal our Career Tech Education Player of the Game. We'll get that up and let you know who it is. Deshaun Williams, Corey, Blount High School, no doubt about that. 3 touchdowns tonight. Great yardage, too, as well.
Well, it's always interesting when you have an impact player to actually be in the Career Tech Player of the Game, and it's none other than number 3, Deshaun Williams, the 5'11", 190-pound sophomore, getting it done. And if it holds here the last 3:55 of this fourth quarter, Blount will come away with their first win of the year.
Sorry, I was having some issue with my headset there, Corey. Okay, it's back now. I got you. But yeah, great job by Deshaun Williams so far tonight. Headset acting up. Okay, there we go. Now we're back now, Corey. But yeah, great job by Williams tonight. Doing an outstanding job running the ball, especially at critical times when Blount needed him to really run the rock and score for them. He stepped up.
Well, Matthew Moore let us know, one of our great statisticians that we have here, that 27 plays being run by Blount's offense here in the second half, and that's just a lot of plays.
That is a lot. I'm telling you, they ate up a lot of clock here in the second half. They've only had the ball twice, Corey, and we have 3:50 remaining here, and we only played 12-minute quarters. They only have 3:50 left in the fourth quarter.
I have to give kudos to the people to your right and my right.
Right.
In China
as
Powell
well
as
and Matt Moore doing a great job.
Both of them do an outstanding job, and we wouldn't be able to have the numbers and the access to what's going on with these players without them. So just definitely want to give them shout-outs along with the rest of our crew who keeps us on the air each and every Thursday and Friday night here on MCPSS television.
Well, I told him I would say his name tonight, our engineer, Fran Conway. I said it earlier, but speaking of keeping on the air, he would – trust me, Corey, he was trying to get Billy Pines on the air tonight, but Billy Pines just acting up, man.
I'm going to have that talk with Billy and say, hey, look, man.
Because Fran did his job tonight.
You were mic'd up, brother. You know, let the public, let the masses hear from you on television, man. You know, we don't want to see a lot of flags, but when you are getting that time to get your voice heard.
That's correct. That's correct, Corey. 3rd and 10 coming up here for the Wildcats. On their 26-yard line. Adam flushed out of the pocket, running for his life. Tries to shovel past that one to one of his receivers. For Citronelle, they're going to travel to McGill next week. Then they're going to host Bryant and host Gulf Shores. As far as Blount, big ball game next week, Corey. I don't know if you can get a score for us, but they're traveling to play Saraland in a region contest. And then after that, they're going to host MGM and host Robertsdale. So, I'm sure Coach Sumter, overall, he should be happy with the win, but I know he wants his Leopards to tighten up with execution and stop some of those penalties he's seen tonight. 4th down and 10 coming up for Citronelle. Andon Lynch, low snap to Lynch, but he does get it off. And Ty Beverly is going to scoop it, fair catch it at about the 43-yard line of the Leopards.
5 3-and-outs for the Citronelle Wildcats.
In the second half? Wow.
And that's just tough offensively because it puts your defense in a tough situation. And what I expect to see, Al, here is Blount, because they lost 2-0 1 week ago and really struggled offensively. I don't look for them to let up right here with 3:25 remaining. You could possibly take Deshaun Williams out, but you still have a stable of backs and wide receivers that you can go to get the job done. And don't expect Blount to lay down at this point in time.
I don't believe so, Corey. Now, unless my eyes deceive me, I think I saw number 9 with the pink gloves playing defense, so that could have been Chris Cashier, not Tyler Tucker, Corey. But he was on defense as well, picking up about 4 yards right there. Freddie Davis still on the field, quarterback. And next week, don't forget, we're going out to Vikings land. It's a 7A Region 1 battle. Matter of fact, this is the Battle of West Mobile, Baker versus MGM. We'll go up live at 6:50 with the MCPSS High School Football pregame show brought to you by Bishop State. So make sure you join us next Friday, 6:50 p.m. This one should be good. The Battle of West Mobile. We've had the Battle of Pritchett, Corey, so far, and we have the Battle of West Mobile next week.
Those two programs, you know, it's kind of the same color scheme, but
yeah,
you look at MGM being at home and trying to get some momentum going, and Baker coming off of a shutout win tonight, so it'll be fun to watch.
Cashier with the carrot past the 50-yard line into Wildcats territory, as all Blount pretty much has to do is just sit on the clock right here and just let it run out.
You know, looking at that Williamson win last night
over St. Michael's, okay,
that was a very impressive win for Williamson in region play. And tonight Theodore continues to rack up 7A Region 1 wins as they defeat the Daphne Trojans, or they're leading the Daphne Trojans 21-0.
Wow, shutting out Daphne, very impressive. They pitched a shutout last week on Bryant, didn't they?
And impressive.
71-0, I believe.
No question about it. And Rico Jackson, you know, he keeps clawing and clawing and clawing with the Murphy Panthers, similar to this Blount program they're doing right now. That's big time for Rico offensively to get on the board too.
Take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association. This is the 7A poll right here. Top 6 remain the same. Had some movement last week right there with Daphne losing to Fairhope. Switching to 6A right quick. Pretty much right here, everything staying the same for the top 6. Hillcrest Tuscaloosa moves up to 7 with a loss to Homewood that knocks them out of the top 10. Taking it back to the action as we approach 1 minute remaining here in the ball game. Freddie Davis literally just taking his time, Corey, showing the senior leadership. No need to run a play until you have to. Play clock under 10 seconds. And we pretty much know that Blount is going to run the ball. Been in control here all of the fourth quarter, extending their lead. All points in this ball game coming in the fourth quarter and the second quarter tonight. No points in the first or third.
Great sportsmanship shown by the Wildcats, helping Cashier up, as we do believe that's who that is at this point in time.
I'm going to agree with the core. And the Blount Leopards pretty much going to rack up their first win of the season here. Hard fought tonight. Valiant effort for the Wildcats. A lot of heart. I think this program is going to continue to grow. Coach Barnett just needs his guys to, when you get to that red zone, Corey, you got to punch it in. You got to take advantage of it.
One of the things that I talked about is for the Citronelle Wildcats, they needed to scratch through in the red zone. The Wildcats weren't able to do so, and because of it, Blount's going to come away with a 27-7 win over the Citronelle Wildcats. And that's going to be Coach Dedrick Sumter's first win.
His first win.
As the head coach at Blount High School. And they move on now to a winning game against the Citronelle Wildcats. 1-3 now, Blount's overall record.
Great win tonight for the Leopards. As we said, a lot of heart shown by Citronelle. All the scoring in the second and fourth quarter. Deshaun Williams with 3 touchdowns tonight. Jordan Dees with a great misdirection play call from Jeff Pippin and the Wildcats. The last play of the second quarter, Corey.
Yeah, and you thought that momentum might have gone in Citronelle's favor,
Right.
and it did, because here in the third quarter they were able to get it all the way down to the 5-yard line of Blount on 4th down and 1 yard
Sure
to go.
did.
Blount finds a way to turn the ball over because it was a bad snap. Blount was able to pounce on top of it, and because of it, turned away in the red zone area where the Wildcats, at that point in time, the score, I do believe, was 13-7.
13-7
So it
at
had
that
a
point.
possibility to where if you're able to not only get that first down, but that
Right.
touchdown, who knows what that game could have been. It could have been possibly tied up, but went the other direction in favor of the Blount Leopards.
Sure did. Fourth quarter, Deshaun Williams turned it on again with a 10-yard run to cap a 50-yard 4-play drive. And as we call it here in the business, some trash points at the end as Cartel Washington hauls in a 19-yard swing pass from Freddie Davis for Freddie Davis to get his one scoring touchdown tonight through the air. But overall, Corey, it was a good contest. We knew Blount had to win, Citronelle had to win, but the pressure, I'm going to say, was on Blount tonight.
Without question, because starting 0-4 would be unheard of from a Blount Leopard standpoint. And one of the things Coach Sumter taking over the offensive play calling duties tonight made a difference on the scoreboard. And, I mean, it created a new type of new type of life. But, again, Coach Sumter gets his first win as head coach.
Speaking of Coach Sumter, let's take it down to the field. Kimberly Dunn has Coach Sumter and Deshaun Williams, our Career Tech Education Player of the Ballgame.
I'm here with Coach Sumter for the Blount Leopards and our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, number 3, Deshaun Williams. Congratulations on the region win tonight. Y'all did a great job coming out. So what does this region win mean to you and your team?
It feel good.
Yeah.
Feel great.
You came out here with 3 touchdowns tonight. What do you think that meant to your team and to your coach?
They feel good about it.
Yeah. So are you proud of these boys tonight, and what's something that y'all can improve on going into next week?
A lot. Still mistakes, but it's the momentum, because you're going to Saraland next week, and we got a long way to go, but at least get us back into a strong Leopard belief, and that's the most important thing.
Yes, well, congratulations on this win again tonight. The first region win. It keeps y'all in the running for the playoffs, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we do appreciate that, Kimberly. Coach Sumter talking about traveling to Saraland. Next week, we're traveling out to the city of Sims, Corey, for the Battle West Mobile.
Looking forward to it. Always a great time. And if it's anything weather-wise like tonight, we're going to be in for a great night of high school football.
So make sure you join us at 6:50 for that broadcast. Blount gets the win tonight, 27-7. For Corey Bounty, statistician China Powell, and Matt Moore, our executive producer Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, and engineer Fran Conway. I'm Al Wheaton, thanking you for joining us for another MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Bishop State. Have yourself a great night.